let me add in one of our brothers, one of the illest song promotion set. One of the reasons why I was coming to the song promotion segment. You understand what I'm saying? One of the reasons, like it was one of those love. I had a love affair. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, let me pull up to the song promotion segment and see what's being crafted, what's being cooked up. You know, in a place where there's an industry designed to have you taking you from the remembrance of God. Like hip hop was a place where you found God. Now you're in a space of the land and nod. You know what I'm saying? Where you think God's place won't be seen, where you got defenders who's standing up. You understand what I'm saying? They're still standing up and they still making it palatable, and it's still hip hop, man. You understand what I'm saying? So let's give it up for my brother, man. New York's own, Danbury, Connecticut's own, Reborn to Rebizzle, finally here on the Podcraft.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Peace.
There you go. There you go. Glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. I'm glad you decided to come through, give us a little cameo. You know, I gotta have you and the whole team back on. So you know what I'm saying?
I always wanted to come on here too and build with brothers. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. So your attraction to the craft. You know what I'm saying? Tell us your Podcraft story, your Killah Priest story, however you want to do it. If I play one of these joints, because you know I got one cooked up over here. It's cooked up. Got something cooked up.
That, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I grew up on Wu-Tang, Nas, Killah Priest, Rakim, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? 47 years old. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised in the South Bronx, 144 of St. Anne's, St. Mary's Park. You know what I'm saying? Right across the street. Because I remember back in like the summer of 86, 87 when KRS-One was.
Am I tripping? Did I freeze? All right.
Yeah, so I was always into hip hop growing up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we used to do these dance contests during Easter Day and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So my cousins and them, they used to always play Rakim, Coogee Rap, and all of them. So we knew Microphone Fiend followed the leader. You know what I mean? So those brothers back then, they kept us civilized and all of that. You know what I mean? Even though I wasn't MCing back then yet, but I was enjoying the music. You know what I mean? So then the 90s, fast forward, 93, 94, when the Wu first came out, you know what I'm saying? I was in Truman High School, and we was bugging when them brothers came out. You know what I'm saying? One time, we had cut school to go all the way to Staten Island from the Bronx to see the Wu. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we was bugging back then. You know what I mean? So, you know, growing up under, you know, hip-hop and everything, that's been my life and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Then one day, I came to faith in Christ in the summer of 1999. You know what I'm saying? I started hearing the preaching of the word a lot on the trains and people passing out pamphlets, and I'm paying attention to the word. And it was like the word was speaking directly to me, and I knew God was calling me. You know what I mean? So I never heard of, you know what I'm saying, gospel hip hop or Christian rap back then. That is until a year later in the summer of 2000. I was working as a Christian counselor / kitchen worker at Mount Long Camp over there in the Poconos of Pennsylvania. So there was this brother named Albert Daniels. He was trying to get me to listen to Christian hip hop and all of that. But of course, I was pretty reluctant because the church I was going to, they was against rap. So they was like, nah, that's of the world. That's the devil's music and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Plus the pastor, they was from an older generation as well. So they was already in their 70s. But when he showed me the ambassador from Cross Movement, this brother from Philadelphia, I listened to the album, Christology in layman's terms, and I was blown away. Seriously. I didn't see nothing wrong with the music. To me, he was like a Nas type or Wu-Tang type, you know what I mean? Then I didn't even know he was part of a group called the Cross Movement. So to me, he was like, the ambassador was like the Method Man of Cross Movement, if you will. That's how I seen him, you know what I mean? So that's when I started listening to other Christian MCs like Corey Red and Precise, Raiders of the Lost, ADF, and it was a whole army of cats, even sisters too. So then I started picking up a pen and paper, started writing, you know what I mean? Because I was already well-versed in the scriptures because I was studying the word a lot. Studying that word, show myself approved unto God, a workman which needed not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. So I saw that as a wonderful thing, you know what I'm saying, like a mission field, you know what I mean, to counteract all of the evils and the negatives by displaying the word of God through their MCing and stuff like that. And they sharing their stories and stuff like that. So I was just like, wow, I was blown away by it. So I used to compare the two between Christian hip hop MCs and regular MCs that I grew up with. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? A lot of them was definitely influenced by these MCs that pioneered the way. You know what I mean? Then you had old school Christian MCs like this brother named Michael Peace, who was back in the early 80s, like 82, 83, during the Run DMC and Beastie Boys era. I didn't know anything about him until I learned of him later. So when I finally met him, I said, man, yo, God bless you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're one of the pioneers of Christian hip hop and all of that. You know what I mean?
Correct. You see how quick you got another guest? You see how quick that was?
Hey, when they ready to build, I'm ready.
You ain't even hear him spit yet. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I ain't going to, you know, I'm going to do a little something on the ones and twos real quick over here. You understand? Like, you know, this is like Podcraft royalty. You understand? My fam always coming through with some jewels and some gems. You understand? Through the music. So I'm glad, you know, after, you know, this time we got our brother here, and, you know, I want to get the whole team, because, you know, they the Christ Tang. You understand what I'm saying? They the Christ Tang. You got the Wu-Tang, they got the Christ. It's a bunch of them. You understand what I'm saying? It's a bunch of them. Everybody dope. Everybody is phenomenal.
To tell you the truth, I used to rap to a lot of Wu beats in practice and get better and better lyrically. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they beats motivated me, you know what I mean, to reach to that level and stuff like that as MCing wise. So I used to rhyme on a lot of Wu beats and just write to them. Sometimes I might remake certain songs, like you had Cream, Cash rules everything around me. I did Christ rules everything.
Get out my notes, man. Get out my notes. Reborn, let me do my little thing over here. Look, he trying to give away the giveaway. You understand? Can't give away the giveaway. Gotta let him, you know? Man, can't live by, you know, Wu-Tang alone. You understand what I'm saying, man?
It's time for everybody to take a chill pill and just reflect on life, you know what I'm saying? Let me speak life in this music, that's how we use it. And spit truth, don't abuse it, no confusion. It was meant for us to breathe life, no need for strife. Now it's time for us to shine the lights and rep Christ and show the hood what is really good. I wish I would consider everything we say and understood, so we can have fun in the Lord. It's a music for the dudes driving on the highway and they be cruising. If you're chilling in the summertime, keep this in mind, that my God is always loving you all the time. See the principle thing of life, it's called wisdom. Keep my insight and spit on this mic through this rhythm. I'm illuminate minds with a light brighter than prisms. The word of God set minds free from this mental prison. I don't care if you're autism, yo, I got to give them the truth in this song so we can really hit them, so we can all kill and parlay with the Lord that made rules with solidarity. I want to call, you notice how I just switch my flows, but stay on top and teach them how to make moves by faith and not rely to see the spirit of God. He breathes life, that's what we need in order to get that eternal lead. Christ out of plea, I'm here to resurrect communities, true indeed, by presenting the words of life for y'all to see your life is much more than what you think. So face it, but at the same time shorter than a blink, so don't waste it. See, you need to be wise in these days you're living, cause tomorrow's promised for no one, and that is a given. Come on.
This is what life is all about. It's time to resurrect the hoods by watering this crowd. I'm here to jack words of life in the veins of this game, cause we spit the gospel and we're unashamed. Hood dudes, hood checks, consider what we spit. This is spirit-filled words is for your benefit. I write songs according to you to reflect on life by giving you insight from a godly life.
Reborn, you teaching us something, man. To my everyday evils, my God sees you. It's time to rise above, stand and shun the evil. Kid is a crown of righteousness for the overcomers. I'm trying to turn you away from the worldly blunders. My brothers, fuck all the sisters, bees and hoes, and my sisters start wearing more decent clothes. You gotta treat yourselves better than that, and it doesn't matter if your body's intact. See, I'm trying to give you godly principles so you can live a life that is always sensible. Believe me, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, I'm just giving you godly advice so it be helping you. And please don't think that I'm better than you. This ain't competition as if life is compatible. Life could be much more simpler if we learn to obey God, stay as perimeter. See, we were designed to be more than conquerors, so why you live like you have a purpose like wanderers. You can't waste your days moping around as if life owes you something, and that is profound. The reason why you feel empty within, cause you're living in sin. You haven't been born again, see? The time has come for you to make a decision, so reflect on these words as it brings conviction. Come on.
This is what life is all about. It's time to resurrect the hoods by watering this crowd. I'm here to jack words of life in the veins of this game, cause we spit the gospel and we're unashamed. Hood news, hood kids, consider what we spit. This is spirit-filled word is for your benefit. I write songs and causes you to reflect on life by giving you insight from a godly life.
Yeah, consider that, you know what I'm saying? Life is much more than what we see on an everyday, mundane basis, you know what I'm saying? God has a plan and a purpose for our lives, you know what I'm saying? God bless y'all. Peace.
Oh, man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Reborn, the Rebuild. So, Reborn, how you find your way to the Podcraft, man? Out of every place, and then how did you start hooking in with the song promotion segment? And you know, what's your feedback on your feedback? You know what I'm saying? What's your feedback on your feedback? Man?
Yo, the feedback that you be giving, I can tell like you get really get in depth with the definition and the meaning of, you know, the songs. And so, like the last one when I had sent you, you got into that word, and I was like very impressed. And I was just like, you know, it's a shame that most cats in Christendom hip hop don't see the way that you guys see it. You know what I'm saying? The way y'all pay attention and break it down and stuff like that. Because nowadays, most of them is like, oh, it sounds a little outdated. It don't sound like this. You got to sound like that. I said, nah, bro, I got to be me. And that's all I could do was just be me. If y'all accept it, y'all accept it. If y'all don't, then I'm going to take something else. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to be a Christian version of anyone. I'm just trying to be me. So I told them a long time ago, it took me a long time for me to come out with anything. Because during that time, I was finding my own identity in the music and stuff like that. You know what I mean? A lot of cats, as soon as they become a Christian, they want to be a rapper all of a sudden. Nah, you got to grow. You got to develop. You know what I'm saying? And even as an MC itself, you got to learn the craft and study the craft and understanding. You know what I'm saying? So when the first time I heard the Killah Priest podcast, because I was always a big fan of Killah Priest, but then when he started doing his podcast and I was paying attention to it, then when he got into the music segment, I was like, okay, I need to start sending some music. Then once I started putting out music and putting out albums and stuff like that, the first song that I ever sent to Killah Priest podcast was Brainstorm Part 2, which was like a promo to the album itself. You know what I'm saying? Then once the album came out, the first song from the album I put out was Bringing It Back. You know what I'm saying? Then my brother Knowledge Born, you know what I'm saying? He built on that. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. So ever since then, I've been following the podcast all the time. And I used to tell other Christian rappers, I said, yo, y'all need to send your music out there, not just in the four walls of the church, among other Christians. Y'all need to send it out there. Check out the secular, the worldly podcast, because they need what we have. And if you got a gift and if you got that word, then send it to them. You know what I'm saying?
So we got a hip hop aficionado right here, Heritage Hip Hop. Correct, man. Correct, man. Talk to us, correct. From what you heard, these couple of droplets you got over here, some dewdrops, you know, from the dewdrops you got from Reborn and Revisit over here.
I want to hear more because I have a beef with Christian hip hop. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I love the message, but it's not presented the correct way to me because, just like I said, what's going to prolong hip hop? Christian hip hop seems to go against itself rather than project to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. Because a lot of people, and I'm not directing this to Joe personally, because personally I think your flow is way better than a lot of people who are Christian rappers, period.
Amen.
And one thing I hate about, I'm going to tell you, I love hip hop, but I hate half-baked food. Because if you're going to serve me a plate, give it to me on a clean plate with clean silverware. Don't give me good food on a dirty dish. You feel me? And that's how I feel a lot of Christian hip-hop is, because we have people who give you half-ass beats with a good message. And I don't like that. Or we have people who really have the great potential and they're not fully developing their sound to give the world their best. They just say, well, I'm a Christian, so you should like it. Or because I put God, you should just accept it. And that's not what it is. Because first, you remember, you got to entertain as well as give your message. So from what I heard from this gentleman right here, I heard style and flow. The beat on the second one, the song, the beat was cool. It didn't bring out your skill set though. You overpowered the beat. It didn't marry the lyrical content. It didn't go together. As far as the Wu-Tang joint, I could tell you were playing a little bit. You was rhyming and you started playing at the end, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all that because that's MC's personalities and that's what we need. So I like and appreciate the fact that the message is there because shit, if someone could talk about killing and all this other stuff, why can't we talk about God and love it the same way? You know what I'm saying? And I firmly am 100% behind you with doing that and putting your music out. So I salute you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
But all y'all Christian hip hoppers out there, get y'all stuff right. Don't come to my platform talking about God and you giving God half-ass treatment. Put like y'all want to get fly and go out with it. Put your whole heart into some of the beats. And shout out to all the Christian rappers that do it. I'm shouting out my man Reborn, the Rebizzle right now. Shout out Steven the Levite. Shout out to Fire Jaws. Shout out to Lavoisier. Because guess what? I listen to Christian hip hop, so I know what the hell I'm talking about. So salute to my brethren out there that love God. Yo.
Those brothers are from back in the days, and I love the back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Holy hip hop and all that.
Yeah, shout out to Show Baraka. Look, I got some names, bro. Look, I listen. You know what I'm saying? So
Red and Precise, Top Banks. Yeah.
Oh, and please. But I will say this because I am controversial. I don't pull punches. If you're going to rap for God and rep God, I'm not saying you got to be holier than thou or perfect because none of us will ever achieve 100% righteousness. But don't be a piece of garbage like Lecrae. Please. I have an issue with Lecrae because if a person tells you anything about we can't discount the blessings of slavery, and you just sit there and bob with your head like you agree with him, and you don't check that man in front of the nation, as he said he got blessings from the destruction of your people. I got a problem with you, and you don't use God as an excuse to let somebody's evil or wickedness be subdued or accepted. F that. I don't want to curse out of respect for you and your faith. F that. You're gonna be that man of faith. You stand on your faith. Stand on your faith and live it. Don't let somebody tell you they were blessed from slavery. When slavery is the thing that try to destroy the legacy of God's creation, which is your people. I got a problem with that.
Got my little AD moment right there. the link to subscribe to Reborn and Rebizzle's YouTube, I put it in the chat over here. I ain't understand. Do my AD. AD always showing love like that. You understand? So subscribe to the channel. Karev's Heritage Hip Hop, his channel was up there. You understand? Go subscribe. Support the real deal. Okay, support the real deal. You know, he wear it on his chest. And he say it with his chest. You understand what I'm saying? He wear it on his chest and he say it with his chest. Yeah, definitely. So Podcraft for you, Reborn and Rebizzle. Since you've been submitting, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's been the reception now? Has things kind of changed for you and your crew since y'all been, submitting and, putting things on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with it?
Yeah, as Sons of Thunder, there's three of us, my brother King Jehoshaphat, Deeds Ali. We're working on the EP together, So what happened? We came together, because of the video, with my brother Deeds Ali, Armored Up. So ever since we did Armored Up and Flashlight, my brother King Jehoshaphat felt in his heart that the Lord wanted me, Deeds Ali, and King Jehoshaphat come together as Sons of Thunder to work on the EP. So we've been going out ever since last year, to these open mics, to these shows with Full Blast Movement and Punchline Academy. So we've been well received over there as well. So they're like, yo, when you're gonna drop your album, your EP and stuff like that? I say, yo, we got some tracks recorded already so far. So we're just ready to put it out and stuff like that. Even though also my brother King Jehoshaphat is working on his solo project as well. what I'm saying, called God Made, which will be coming out between the spring and the summer. You know what I mean? He has a fire album cover that he created, stuff like that. He had created the logo for Sons of Thunder, the S symbol as well. You know what I mean? So we coming with that, I guess you could say that Wu-Tang, that boot camp click, that Sons of Man type of energy with our flows and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We got like a few songs recorded, heavily protected. We Declare War. We got Now. We also got Stormwatch and Make It Count and a couple of other joints that's coming soon and stuff like that.
Send me some music. Send me some music.
Got you, my brother. You can even check out the album. Like a lot of my music.
Reunion, okay?
Like a lot of my music is on YouTube. You can check it out.
Welcome to the mic real quick, my brother. You understand what I'm saying? The Now Valley one. You know what I'm saying? The one from the Now Valley. The God body from the Now Valley in the building.
All right.
Man, Kepara.
What's going on, y'all? What y'all doing, man? Y'all move. I see you say you coming out with a new album, man. Keep pushing that music, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Peace, my brother. Peace. Finally, man. Peace.
Peace. How you doing, man?
Good. All is well, man.
That's what's up. That's what's
working
up.
hard.
That's my man. Yo, you coming on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Killah Priest. What up? Peace.
Peace, Lord. I love
All right.
Just over here building, man, doing some music and stuff too, man. Just that's what it's about. I was telling the queen, I'm gonna tell you something how powerful music is. I was talking to this queen and she was going through all kind of stuff in her life and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, she was like, man, I need to get myself in order and balance. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, when's the last time you threw some music on and just cleaned your house up and just felt that vibration from the music? Because you know when you put music on, man, it takes away all the pain.
Motivates you too.
Yeah, takes away all the pain. That 4 minutes of you listening to music, you don't feel no pain. Especially if you really, really like the song, you forget about everything else in the world.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing else matters right now. It's about listening to that drum line and listening to them powerful words that's coming out. You know what I'm saying?
That's got to come from the heart and soul too. You know what I'm saying? That's why we put our all into it. You know what I mean? Because it's like my brother just said, man, don't half-ass it, man. Put your whole heart into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever you do, if you want to be looked upon as a master, you gotta have master potential.
Right.
You gotta do what masters do. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we mastered that 120, yo.
Yep.
It wasn't like this. No, you have to master the whole 120 verbatim. Let's start at, you know what I'm saying, Supreme Mathematics, go to the 12 Joules and just keep going. Knowledge, culture, degree, solar facts. Let's walk across the desert. You know what I'm saying?
Knowledge to Pluto. That's it.
You feel me? So it's
knowledge
like,
to Pluto.
Everything that we do, God, we got to do true and living.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Kep, man. You was at a performance this weekend. You know what I'm saying? You was at a performance this weekend, man, Kep, while Priest left us. Priest left us and he went, you know, on the rocket from Nebula to the Step Pyramid. You know what I'm saying? He hopped off the you know what I'm saying? He hopped off the rocket and landed in the Step Pyramid, you know what I'm saying? With the Samoan Khan out there.
Yeah, took the rocket and landed on the platform.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He really pulled that Dave Flores. You know what Dave Flores put him in the video, like coming out the joint. He really pulled up like, you know, hop out him and Solo Jim, hop out the rocket on the joint. You know what I'm saying? But you was there, you know, with Cyrock and the gang, and you got to see the great Ty Phoenix perform, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I got to see Ty Phoenix perform, yo.
She dope.
Lyricist, yo.
Lyricist fire, man.
Lyricist, yo. When I was listening to her, yo, I was like, yo. When I heard her, because you know we got a song that we did on the joint, the whole collaboration of the whole Royal Priesthood is on the song with Ty Phoenix. So, you know what I'm saying? I was there with my queens. I was like, yo, I got a song with her. Not of me and hers, but I'm on the song with, you know what I'm saying? Ty Phoenix. So you know what I'm saying? She got up there and performed, man. She did her thing, man. Like she, you know what I'm saying? And then after her, Cyrock performed. So imagine that. Ty Phoenix performed, then Cyrock performed like that. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, wait, man, this is like double trouble.
Trouble, man.
Double trouble. It was killing the microphone. The microphone was on fire. By the time the show was over with, man, she had to go throw it in the water bucket.
Facts. Facts.
It was steaming. You know what I'm saying? Ty Phoenix, then Rock got on there. And, you know, like, not saying that they was competing against each other because they won. You know, they two both, you know what I'm saying, real lyricists. But I know females.
I don't know.
I know females, and if one female doing something, another female go give it 100% after that.
That's the thing. Ty Phoenix, she come with the.
Yeah, I don't think nobody want to see Ty Phoenix like that. I'm not me speaking.
Come with the substance.
Drop that bomb, Priest. Drop that bomb on him.
Got the righteous
Let me pull this mic close to my chin real quick. All right, over here. If y'all ain't heard what Priest just said, he said, I don't think nobody want to see Ty Phoenix on that microphone. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to say it once, twice, 3 times. Priest said, and I co-sign that nobody want to see Ty Phoenix on that microphone. All right? Nobody. Let me do that one more time.
Yeah, hey, no doubt though. You know what I'm saying? Like I was there, so I'm like, I think both of them is nice, yo. I can't go against the team.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
I'm on both teams. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
There's levels to MCing, and Ty Phoenix is swimming through it, effortlessly. Like, she's scary. She's scary. Ty, like, I would hate to see her do somebody dirty. Like, if they was to ever go to, I'm not saying that, but I would hate to see what happens to that person.
Yeah, she goes on that level.
She
nice though. I was gonna say,
Ty Phoenix can go
I'm
to that
not
level.
saying she ain't nice. I'm saying Cyrock is
incredible.
Cyrock is nice. You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying I ain't gonna even put him.
Yeah,
I'm not jumping.
It's righteous versus lyrical spitter and all of that. Besides that, she has
She got stage presence. Yeah, she got stage presence.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she got stage presence.
And she
sees
sees
it.
it.
Spit. Yeah. She beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know what I'm saying.
Love
Phoenix
for
is here.
Cyrock though.
Yeah, Cyrock is. You know what I'm saying. I done seen Cyrock perform a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
you know she a bona fide spitter, and Ty Phoenix she a bona fide spitter.
I ain't gonna get started on
They need to do something.
I said what I said when I pulled that microphone close to my chin. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I'm echoing the sentiments of the freak. Don't nobody want to see Cyrock. No, Ty Phoenix on that microphone.
I ain't jumping.
Nobody.
I'm not jumping in there.
I'll stand
Nobody.
I'll stand on it.
Y'all ain't even really hear her. Like, y'all ain't even really hear her. Like, y'all might have heard some echo. Like, you ain't, like, if you ain't hear her get down, I don't know what to
I'm not
tell you.
saying that Cyrock is nice either, though. Cyrock is a beast, bro. Cyrock is.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not putting both of them in the same category. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
I think Cyrock can hold her own, though.
Yeah,
If it was a dueling battle between Ty Phoenix and Cyrock, like Cyrock been more than shot. I think Ty Phoenix can do that too, though.
Don't step on a landmine.
Nice.
There's landmines that come in seasons, right?
Yeah.
Roxanne Shante is not the landmine you wanted to find yourself with. You didn't want to find yourself in no lyrical back and forth with no Roxanne Shante because she'll out rap you and embarrass you. You understand? Out rap you and embarrass you. That's not a landmine you want to step on. That's what I'm saying. I'm going through the stages, right? Walk with me for a second through the stages. Light was not somebody you wanted to find yourself in a predicament being predicamized because you were going to get predicamized. right?
don't think Ty
So
Phoenix
I'm gonna
say
slide
that
over here
over
to
here,
Jersey,
Rock.
Queen Latifah, because the rest of the people was coming out of Jersey. I'm gonna just tell you right now. The rest of the people coming out of Jersey. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sliding over here to Queen Latifah. Queen wasn't nobody you wanted to see on no level.
I know that.
With,
Ty Phoenix
with that microphone in the hand.
I know, but I haven't heard.
Right?
Rock.
So now you slide over there around my way, then you got Rod Digger.
Yeah, Rod Digger's nice.
You understand? Then you got Rod Digger for real. And she would beat you up. You understand? Like not
beat you up.
just okay, I got you on the rhyme. If you want to fight too, you get beat up too. You understand what I'm saying? Like she everything good now, but that wasn't it. You understand what I'm saying? And then you slide over a little bit across the street. You got this lady named Miss Hill.
Rock will be.
You got somebody named Miss Hill, right? You put all of them together, and then you add astrological consciousness. Then you got Ty Phoenix. You add all them landmines that I'm talking about. Lyrically, hardcore, hard body, all that. All of those things together, and then you add in a level that none of them can go to. None of them. You got a level that none of them can go to. A place right there. Like, you can add her too. If you want, like, look, you can add that too. Okay, all of that stuff sounds nice. There's a place you can't go. Where do you go? Where do you go?
Album is concerned?
Lyrics.
Lyrics? No, Rock's up there.
With Lauren?
Yeah, with Lauren. Yeah.
I saw Lauren spaz out.
Yeah, Rock's up there.
What I'm saying to the craft, right? I'm translating what Priest is saying.
Now listen to me.
I'm translating what the Oracle's saying right now. What I'm saying is you can put all of those people in the room. You can add all of the rest of those people, the Chain and Walls and Rhapsodies and all the rest of them. You can add all of them. Okay? All of them.
Hold on. Now it's more.
And then there's like, okay, we got it up to this high level, right? Say this is 50, right? That's 50. That's as high as you're going to go. That is not even where she peaks. When she turns that shit up and she at 100, you can't hear it. Y'all remember that shit and Do the Right Thing. Am I tripping? Radio Raheem, when he turned his system up, Poppy turned his shit down. You understand? So when he's like, hey, you turn that shit down, he said, hey, you got it, bro. You got it, bro. That's what he said.
In the Queen's Circle, right? Ty Phoenix is up there. But Rock in the Queen's Circle, she's on the altar already.
Yeah.
You're saying that because you ain't walked through that catalog. You don't know what's there.
It's nice.
But Ty Phoenix,
you don't know what's there. I got everything Cyrock ever put out. I got everything. I got the whole catalog that was available for sale. I got all of it.
Mm-hmm. And you telling me she's not a lyricist like Ty Phoenix?
I'm not saying anything about her. I'm telling you about Ty Phoenix. I'm telling you about Titanium. I'm telling you about the Royal Priesthood. I'm telling you about the mothership. I'm telling you that you are not properly acquainted with the woman that you're on a track with. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm acquainted with her.
It's levels to it.
Not properly acquainted. Like you're familiar. You're familiar.
Nice. I'm not saying that she don't turn up.
She's really nice.
Yeah, she's really nice. Like she's professional. I'm not saying I'm not taking Ty Phoenix. I'm not taking.
Look, I was not saying nothing to saying a little too much.
Nice.
All I'm gonna say is
Rock is nice too.
I let Dollar Paul take that.
We ain't got no argument. We don't. We definitely. we don't even defer. I'm telling you, you're correct.
I'm not saying that Ty Phoenix ain't nice. Ty Phoenix is nice as a motherfucker. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want Ty Phoenix to ever think I don't think she not nice. But like I said, when I watched both of them perform, I was watching Ty Phoenix and I was watching Cyrock. You know what I'm saying, that night. And when I came up out of there, I felt that Ty Phoenix was nice and I felt that Cyrock was nice. Now, as far as the performance-wise and stuff like that, like Ty Phoenix is nice with her performance. Her performance is 100.
That's over now.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
100. Rock performance was one. I done seen Rock perform a few times, and her when she give a show, it's some real like she got a catalog she can go through and take you like when Priest do it, and she can take you from one song, talk to you about why this song is important, this, that, or whatever. She got that kind of vibe because she been in the game for a cool minute. You know what I'm saying?
Then you gotta hear
like every
listen to everything she say. She gonna take you through a story. So I'm like, when I was listening to him, I was like,
you know that Ty Phoenix was on Ruckus?
Ty Phoenix is nicer than Rock.
Do you know that Ty Phoenix was on Ruckus?
I'm saying they both queens that deserve.
Do you know that? Like like she was on a real label, real label. Ty Phoenix.
Yeah, I know Ty Phoenix ain't no slime. She nice.
No, you know, like she was on a real label.
Like Havoc.
You would have to you would have to go to see a Ty Phoenix show. When you go open up for somebody versus you are actually going to a show, so you had the Cyrock Goddess Gang experience. I understand. You understand what I'm saying? And she been in the trenches and she been working all over the world. You understand? But when you put together a show, it's completely different than you going. If I go introduce Priest, they be like, oh, whoever that dude that introduced Priest was good. You understand what I'm saying? But that's it. That's the end of that. The rest of that is going to get devoured by whatever Priest doing that microphone. So if you're the headliner versus somebody who's opening up, it's completely different.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So you would have to go to a Ty Phoenix show. You would have to go through her discography.
And I will go to a Ty.
You know what I'm saying? So
I definitely would love to come out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like Ty Phoenix is nice, so that's why I said don't get, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, because I understand the value of Rock and what she done did inside of the community and stuff like that, and then her flow is impeccable. I'm not gonna just sit here and say that Ty Phoenix just blowing Rock out the water. I ain't co-signing everything.
I'll say it for you.
Right.
Oh no.
I'll say it for you then. You didn't say it.
I'm not agreeing with that.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
That shit,
nobody got to. I ain't saying for nobody to agree with me. I'm telling you.
I deal with the queen.
I'm echoing the sentiment of Killah Priest. No, that's not it. That's not somebody you want to see on the microphone.
I'm not doing that shit, Knowledge Boy.
Look,
they nice.
I'm telling
they
you.
ain't saying they ain't nice.
There's a couple of people that's on my list that's personal to me that ain't nobody seeing on the microphone. Cause Zodiac is another one that ain't nobody seeing on the microphone. You sit next to somebody that ain't nobody seeing on the microphone. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about what people are bringing, what they're talking about. There's a level that they can go, and after that, they can't do anything. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. And you ain't even, that's like somebody running after you full speed and you just tiptoeing. You ain't even start running yet. Like, you understand? Like, that's people, they run, everybody runs to Usain Bolt get on the track. They don't run no more. You understand what I'm saying? Like people rap until KRS-One show up. All of a sudden, they don't rap no more. So I'm saying for the people that's listening, like there's a difference. Like we coddle people and all that stuff a little too much. Like don't get the little bit that you see from them allow you to get it twisted. There's a peak, and then after the peak, then they go back down to the valley. That's it. Like they peak, that's their plateau, and they can't go no further. You see what I'm saying? So you talk about somebody at your peak, that's their starting point.
No, I understand Knowledge. What I'm not saying anything. I'm not, like I said, I'm out of that. They're gonna get me in trouble, man.
That's what I'm saying. They said when Michael Jordan got up in the air to dunk, the people was at their height and they were going down and he was still going up. You understand? Like this is why they have this discussion between
I know what you said, Knowledge.
Come on.
No, I think you trying to get me in trouble, Knowledge. I'm not going.
I'm not. That's me. That's why I said I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm saying.
I don't think. No. I don't think she will.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I sat out there and I listened to both of
the
them.
type of pressure, I don't think she would touch that because you gotta.
There's a legacy of female MCs, man. You understand? There's a legacy of female MCs that was dogging brothers and dogging sisters, like dog walking them. Like that's not.
Yeah.
And
like Cyrock, I'm talking about on any level of speak that you want to go at. Cyrock is nice like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
you want to speed it up, she'll speed it up. If you want to slow the shit down, she'll slow the shit down. If you want to spit some consciousness shit,
and then there's that. And then that's that. That's it. After is it Uchiwale or is it One Mic? Like after that stuff is over with, it's over. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, showed up, told Leroy, he said, "You all warmed up yet?" You understand what I'm saying? Like what you doing, fam? Like, that's not it.
No, I'm not saying that she, like I said, I'm not saying that she not. What I'm saying is that
we agree. I'm not taking anything away from what you're saying. I'm just telling you. Not you, not even you, because you're my air. Like, I'm telling the world, don't allow this glittery crystal shit to get you messed up. You understand what I'm saying? Like you out here glittery, and everything that glitter ain't gold. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that glitter ain't gold. You don't want to be on the wrong end of a stray because you out here following for some wisdomy, colorful chakra shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's not it.
She's nice. I've been listening to Cyrock since she used to be on Cyrock Seti's on Cyrock Seti's website. So when she was back there spitting the revolutionary rap, you know what I'm saying? Like she's been nice, man, since I've been knowing Cyrock. She ain't never been no over here, over there. She's always been about
all of it.
So
I got all of it.
But
I got all of it. I got all of the circle. In this circle that we run with, you and I, kept. We know everybody. We know everybody. There's a certain time frame you can go back to that you can't go back no further. You can't go back to the 90s. There's certain people that can't go back to the 90s.
No, they'll switch. There's certain
people that can't go back to the 90s. So the stuff that they found is something that they found, and then all of a sudden, like we was discussing earlier, like, oh, I gave my life to Christ, or I'm a rapper now. You understand? Like stop playing. That's not it. That's not it. And those people, they just get better with time. Other people get worse with time. Some people come out and they plateau. They got 2 or 3 good albums, and that's it. And then after that, it's a loop of whatever that is. And now I have to look for some new inspiration. I got to go be around somebody else that's talking something else now. You understand? Like, I know all of the Moors. You understand? I know all of the Moors. So if you was a Moor, I know when you became a Moor because I know who you was around. You understand? There's discussions that we had, there's bills that we had that made it to Nas' album. It was written. That he was present for, that he wasn't adding on to. You understand? So there's a different thing now. There's a different thing about you can come around and masquerade and do your best cosplay. You might even believe it yourself. You might even believe it yourself. But in reality, you know.
Nah, boy, Cyrock is nice, bro. I'm not.
Nobody denying that.
I'm not.
Right, that's not even up for discussion. I agree with you. I'm just telling you that there's a peak where the artists can go. All of them. I heard all of them. I heard all of it. I heard the lesser versions of it too. I heard the best version of it and the worst version of it.
Now listen to me. If I wasn't there and y'all was telling me this, then I would probably sit back and be like, okay. Let me sit back and think about that one because I didn't have that experience of actually watching both perform simultaneously. Well, one perform and then the other one come up and perform. So being that I actually had that experience of, let me say, like, okay, I'm listening to Ty Phoenix, nice, Ice Water, the whole shit. But then I turn around, I hear Cyrock spit, and I'm like, okay, champagne, ice, the whole thing is still freezing. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, let's do this. Play one. What you think the hardest side rock? What you say?
And see, that's what I'm gonna tell you. Listen. Listen. I'm gonna throw one up there. But
that you commented.
It's like you have to understand that this too be knowledge born. You have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
So being that experience is the best teacher, I'm going off of my experiences of dealing with the queens and dealing with what has inspired them and got them up in the frenzy to the point where they get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about themselves and where the source is coming from and who they align with. And then I'm looking at the lyricist or how she's spitting her delivery, her stage presence, how she do everything that she do. So then I'm looking at that too. And I'm comparing the two and I'm like, okay, boom. I don't really see the difference between them as far as in a battle where one is going to be dominant over the other one because it's like Set fighting Heru. One is completely charged with negativity. The other one's completely charged with positivity. There is no victor.
Nah, somebody got to walk away with a victory.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that you know.
And victory come up to you
right next to the man that's next to you. Yeah. For a couple of years now, I've been entertaining this discussion about Jay Electronica versus Killah Priest. Okay. We heard the comparisons, right? We heard the comparison because this is another piece of evidence I'm providing right now, right? We heard the comparisons between, Jay Electronica and Killah Priest. There's a place that Jay Electronica can go. There's a level that he could go, and then after that,
that's it.
After that,
yeah,
the mother plane is falling out the fucking sky. You understand? Bong. That's it. That's it. And the rocket ain't even get up to an altitude that's comfortable. It's still adjusting to the turbulence of leaving the atmosphere. There's no way in heaven or hell that's happening. That's not happening. You understand? I don't care. I don't care who is doing what. It's not happening.
Now it's born. How do you feel about K Reno, the MC and all of that?
Yeah,
because he's definitely nice, yo. You know what I'm saying?
He's a legend.
K Reno's nice.
K Reno's a legend. You understand?
Listen,
yeah, I remember he had the joint.
But let me put his microphone closer to my chin. Nobody fucking with Priest on that microphone. Nobody.
I'm gonna say something controversial that y'all gonna be like, hold up, man. What you talking about, man, Kepara? The only person, that I look at when I look at the whole industry, everybody, I don't care if you talking about Method, Nas, Cap, Priest, whoever you talking about, I'm talking about the whole genre of music right now in my brain. There's only two other people that Priest are competing with. You know who those other two people are?
Who?
Nas and Capadonna. That's it. Everybody else, man, ain't even. When it comes to the pyramid,
I love both of them.
Feel like at the they trying to put the rocks on top of the other rock. You know what I'm saying?
I love both of them.
And put the other rock on top of the other rock.
Their birthdays is like a couple of days apart. I love both of them.
There's only two other people that Priest.
You could put them two together.
You could put Rakim there too.
Now listen, I'm gonna tell you why though.
You could put them two together, and you can go get Jay Electronica and put him in there too. You could put them all in the same pot together.
You could put Rakim too.
And I'm gonna eat real good. I'm gonna eat real good.
Cap versus Nas. Yeah. As far as them putting out content, the type of content that they putting out. And the quality of the content. Yeah, and the quality of the content.
Yeah, they're a couple of days apart. So, okay, somebody who's going to do it, whatever. If you're going to get somebody to do it and do it perfect.
Look, Priest. Priest,
not
Nas,
it.
and Capadonna is the only one ain't never strayed away from what they believe in.
You could put Rakim there too.
Now I'm talking about what's popping out right now, like new music that's hitting at a certain level. The only two people that I see that's in that
The only person that Priest is in competition with is Priest.
I ain't heard nothing.
That's it.
Rakim just came out with an album.
That's all I hear. That's all I hear through the whole discography.
As far as quality of music, when I listen to conscious, like me myself being supremely conscious, master. It's only two. It's only three people that I'm really listening to in the rotation as far as when I'm trying to gain some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because I feel like I haven't reached the top of the pinnacle of the pyramid yet.
I said
I'm listening to people that I feel that's more in a higher step than me. Then I'm listening to Nas.
I said I wasn't gonna publicly say nothing about Nas no more. I'm gonna make an exception right now for this moment.
You don't like Nas?
I didn't hear nothing from Nas in the last 2 decades. 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 So give me 2 decades of Nas, and I will give you 2 decades of Killah Priest. What are we doing, Minkep? What are we doing? You understand? What are we doing? What are we doing? Look, 2005 to 2025. Give me, look, 2005. So that eliminates Stillmatic and all of the albums that came before it. Give me a Nas album that's fucking with the psychic world of Walter Reed. Give me one. Go get all of them. Go get all of them. Okay, all of them. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't go nowhere. You understand? Like there's a thing about MCing that where you like, okay, this is where this guy peaks at, and that's it.
Yo, to me, power is like Heavy Mental Part 2. To me, you know what I'm saying?
Listen to me. There's gods that just reached God status, and they just been in God status. They ain't changed.
Give me an album then. Go ahead, God. Go ahead. God.
Who say things?
That's better than this. Hold on, Reborn. Go through his whole discography, everything Nas ever put out. Give me one album. Give me one album. Not better. That's fucking with it. Like
albums Nas done did. And the one he did with Damon Jr. Gone Marty, like, what are you talking about, man? That was the
better than Psychic World
college albums ever created with Damon Jr. Gone Marty. Come on, man.
Come on. Look at the camera with a straight face.
I understand, Lord.
Look at the camera with a straight face.
I understand.
If Nas was sitting on the screen, he wouldn't say the same thing you're saying, and he wrote the shit.
You're telling me an album with Junior Gone called Distant Relatives. You telling me that's not a supreme album?
It ain't Psychic World of Walter Reed. I don't give a damn if Jesus is on it. You understand? It's not Psychic World of Walter Reed, fam. It's not.
I can't be a father.
I know, Priest, you good. Like I'm telling you, if we looked at the last 20 years of Nas, from 2005 to now, and we looked at the last 20 years of Killah Priest, the reason why we all here, right? The reason why we all here, you would be hard pressed.
When I say competition, because listen to me, the way that the universe works, period.
Yes.
You can get the highest pinnacle that you think that you done got to, but you always got other people that's been blessed by the universe themselves too. So it's like, to me, when I'm saying that other people in the industry that has been blessed to stay on their path, as far as I'm not talking about if this album is better than that album. We're not comparing albums. I'm comparing work ethic and knowledge that's being presented to the society. So when I listen to Nas, I'm listening to shit like Abracadabra when the niggas talking about how you manifest energy into existence. I'm listening to Killah Priest talking about Paroma, you know what I'm saying, and how you can manifest energy into the universe. Then I'm listening to Capadonna, and I'm listening to him talking about stop killing us and how you can manifest energy into the universe. That's what I look for. I look for, are we still on the same path of getting this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and presenting it to the actual society so that they can benefit from it? You know what I'm saying? When you got a song come out, man, called Knock Muhammad Dami, like, listen, man, nobody in the game is doing that. When you got a song come out called Abracadabra, nobody in the game is doing that. When you got somebody in the business that's coming out with a song, man, nobody is doing that. So it's like, when I'm looking at who Priest competition is, I don't even call it competitor because they really just pushing the culture forward, which is what they talk about.
Are they?
Talking about,
are they?
Hell yeah, they pushing the culture forward. Hell yeah.
I can agree with Capadonna. I can't agree with Nas.
Why not? How Nas not pushing the culture forward?
I can't. In regards to Def Dealers, no.
Respectfully disagree on that one.
I feel you. I do 100%.
Yeah, I just respectfully disagree.
Look, what we need in the future? I ain't heard none of that from Nas in 20 years.
Why not? I just heard it yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you something too, God, and it's just, me being the way that I am. How you absorb the music all depends on what your life goals and what you're striving to do. So it's like certain people I gravitate to because we thinking on the same level. So when I think Nas, Capadonna, Killah Priest type mindset. You know what I'm saying? I sit here and build with the God, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the energy that we pulsating, you know what I'm saying? So me, when I listen to Nas, I don't see nothing now cipher about the brother, to be honest with you.
That's good. And I'm glad.
Now, that's not your opinion. I understand that.
I'm telling you.
God, that's just how, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right now.
The Nas loyalty, right? The Nas loyalty is real deep. I know the bug. The people been riding the Nas bug for a long time. A long time. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
He's in my algorithm.
I'm telling you.
But you do like the Fat Boys, though, right?
I know Priest still got 15 albums that the world ain't never heard right now.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
Man. Right now.
Ain't no doubt about that.
Right now. Like the world ain't never hear. So they didn't even get through the discography that he has right now. Right now. So he has not reached his level of where he is at as an MC. He's still growing as an MC.
Oh, yeah.
Those 15 albums, if he adds 10 more albums to those albums, that's 25 albums that we ain't heard yet. Because he's still writing. So when you start talking about that level of
you think Nas is still writing? You think Capadonna still writing?
You doing some Rasul stuff with me right now. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't doing the knowledge to what I'm saying. Like I heard you and I understand what you're saying in regards to where you are in your life and what's happening in your cipher and your circumference. I'm saying above all of those things that folks ascribe or aspire to do as an artist, there's places that they can write themselves into that they can't write themselves out of. Right. The depths of that mind from that man that's across from you, we haven't heard yet. We haven't even explored them yet. We haven't even explored them from an artistic perspective, from a storytelling perspective, from a lyrical perspective. He has not reached his pinnacle.
I know, we know that just from seeing
Nas reached his pinnacle.
That's a classic.
With Illmatic.
What about It Was Written?
He reached his pinnacle with Illmatic.
No, I don't think Nas reached his pinnacle.
And It Was Written was like a revival of it. But It Was Written comes from another space of exposure. These other things that you hear after, you go through that discography. Let me tell you, from Illmatic to Stillmatic, just for instance, that's one space right there. There's one space right there. If you went from Heavy Mental to Psychic World of Walter Reed, I don't know what we're discussing. I don't even know what we're discussing. I didn't even get to know other albums. From Heavy Mental to Psychic World, a lot of MCs that are everybody's favorites and greats, and then they top 5 that are alive, they're fucking swallowed up. You understand? Your favorite guys, the guys who was like, oh, yo, this guy does that. They all do it until it's time to really do it. They all do it until it's time to really do it. There's a reason. There's a reason why they went on that bus and woke Priest up to go out there to deal with cannabis. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I always wanted to borrow a line from Priest.
So we got to know.
Priest got bars.
Yeah, I always wanted to borrow a line from Priest for a purpose, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And aim this towards a lot of Christian rappers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Priest, you know how you said on what part of the game? Here's a jewel for you rappers. Be yourselves.
Right.
I wanted to take that line. Here's a jewel for you Christian rappers. Be yourselves. But you're scared to do that because you will see no wealth. When y'all leave those rings, y'all better leave those belts. See, I ain't gonna stop till every word is felt. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to, like, y'all, borrow that line, man. Because how I see Christian hip hop today is not what it used to be when I first got exposed to it back in the summer 2000. Everybody was themselves. But nowadays, you got Christian versions of so-and-so out there. Everybody want to be Kendrick, Drake. Yeah. And to me, it's just a turnoff. I'm like, that doesn't inspire anything, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real.
You know.
Correct, you was quiet, man. You let me go on my tirade. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen my brother in a while, so we got to lock horns and do what we do. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know if this jumped off because of Ty Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, because then it just went everywhere.
But that's how it go, because he used to be doing Rakim and Kane until I heard something I never knew. I can't talk to him because you can't remember back in the day. He told me that Kane lost the battle. I never.
To who? Kane?
To Rakim?
If he would have won, you would have heard about it.
Kane lost the battle to Rakim?
No.
Big Daddy Kane lost the battle to Rakim. You talking about?
Big Daddy Kane lost the battle to an MC from North New Jersey called Double S Shot Skills at Symphony Hall live on stage.
You know what? I did hear.
And if you go to Heritage Hip Hop, Double S Shot Skills, you go to Heritage Hip Hop, you see the interview where he talking about it.
I do remember. No, I remember that name, Shot Still. Yeah, it was something about this dude was nice.
Mm.
Yeah, Double S Shot Skills from Elizabeth Avenue, North New Jersey. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't even chime in.
That's the beautiful thing about hip hop. It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got what they was grown up to. You know what I'm saying? When I first met Priest, yo, we was out there in front of the Crash Unity Center, and I was like,
Holy Grail.
Yo, who's that? He was like, man, that's Killah Priest. I was like, yo, the basic instructions before even heard it. Like, that's the first CD I've ever heard in my life was the Jizza CD. You know what I'm saying? That's the first CD I ever bought. So
I love that album. Still to this day, I love that album. Liquid Sports.
Yeah, as far as knowledge concerned, him and Jizza, what they spit on that album, yo, it's
I love that album.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all the brothers have a certain degree of knowledge. It's like the the 7 deadly venoms. All of them got, is it 5 deadly venoms?
5 deadly venoms.
5 deadly venoms.
The snake, the toad. I'm gonna be honest. I always felt like the scorpion had the illest style, yo.
But you know who was the best one?
And the centipede. I always felt the centipede had the illest style of fighting, man.
You know who was the best one though?
The toad, brother, destroyed.
Oh yeah, the toad.
The toad beat his ass. I don't know. He thought because he was
the toad was the strongest one.
The toad beat Centipede's ass in front of everybody.
Yeah,
they had to sneak him.
They couldn't fuck with him.
The way he did the Centipede was dirty. But they treated the toad with the utmost
like he was a criminal. Like he was a criminal.
It was the scorpion with all that
the darts. Yeah, with the darts. with the scorpion does. And then guess what? The snake want to act like he did it. Like
the toe was impenetrable, bro. They couldn't fuck with him on no level.
But remember, and I know what you said, because he was like, I'm number one. But the toe, and then threw him in jail. Put him in jail.
Fucked him over, yo.
And that's what you know what bugged me out? The snake want to act like he did it, like he was all cocky after the battle. Now put him in jail, please. You didn't do that because you was about to lose it.
But check it out, Reborn.
Yeah.
Remember, he told the lizard to bring him. He said, "He'll bring him out there. I'm gonna help him out." And the lizard brought him out. And then the toad walked out. I was like, let's do this right now. Yeah. Let's do this right now.
Fucked him over, too. Fucked him right on over. Yeah, nothing for it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the snake tried to jump in. He beat the snake ass.
Snake up, too,
He beat the snake.
And he ain't had nothing for it.
Yeah, had nothing with him.
That's my movie right there.
Because he worked on making himself impenetrable.
That's right.
So when you make yourself impenetrable, it don't matter what they shoot at you because your body is strong enough to defend it. Whereas the other ones, the centipede, he was the fastest of them all.
Nice too.
But he couldn't really take a punch though. I forgot what the other dude's name was, but the other dude beat him with like 3 punches. When you really count the punches,
so who the centipede?
Nah,
the lizard.
The centipede was fighting at the end.
Oh,
the lizard,
the scorpion. The scorpion could walk on wall, right? No, that was the lizard.
That's the lizard.
The lizard
before the lizard.
That was a toad homeboy, though. That was a toad man.
The lizard. The lizard beat the fucking centipede in like 3 punches. Yes. Once he passed all that fast shit and hit him with some shit, he couldn't really do it. He was fucked over.
What about the part when he walked up the wall and did the backflip and kicked centipede right in the jaw thing?
Yeah, the lizard had the second strongest strength behind the toad because the lizard could walk on the walls and just get the fuck away from you. The snake couldn't do that. He just depended on speed. And then was the other one, the centipede. Yeah, the centipede was pitted on speed. Once you get past that speed shit, them niggas weren't that fast.
Right. Well, I can't front though. The centipede had a good style.
Hey, Reborn, broken. He said broken bones, broken chest. He said broken. That's the work of the snake. Because remember when they fucked up everybody? They got caught because they left their evidence.
He said snake? That's obvious.
Broken ribs is the centipede.
But the centipede and the snake, as far as like they're regular humans, they was fucking them over. Like they were regular humans. The nigga was sticking the needle up the nigga nose, pulling his brain out, and the nigga. They didn't have no wins with them. Regular
the centipede was from Newark, and the snake was from Montclair. That's what happened. He ain't have no reason to be out there in the trap at all. You understand what I'm saying? He had bread. He was well off. You see how he dressed? He was fly. You know what I'm saying? He stayed up in the palace, man. Like he was trying to hang out with his older brother from the corner. Centipede was from the corner, man. He was from the project, man. He needed that money because he ain't had nothing. He came from nothing. You see what I'm saying? So that was like you see the progression, right? So you see the progression, and by the time it got to, the scorpion is the middle child of the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? Like he there and he watching everybody. He just trusts with everybody that's going on. So he ain't saying nothing out loud. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closest type situation.
Oh yeah, the scorpion. That's the one.
He was on point for everything, right?
It was crazy too, man. Like some of their dialogue. Like I was really thinking about it the other day when the snake and the scorpion was having this conversation. Snake was like, "These killings, when will they end?"
Right.
He said, "When will they end?" And then Scorpion was like, "You just asked me, when will it end?" Let me tell you, once an evil deal is done, it never ends. It goes on. It goes on forever. That made me think a lot too. You know what I'm saying?
And that's that's
the back of his chair. He was thinking science.
Yep.
See that's middle child syndrome right there. It's like man, it's basically doom. And then you see the 2 young boys that come after. They don't know nobody, so they basically like the first and the second all over again. You see what I'm saying? And then number 6 becomes the first child all over again. So it's literally that that resurrection cycle. He don't know. He the baby child, but he's like he might be the first one because the master had reformed himself and was like, nah, I ain't teaching him to be doing nothing crazy. So he was regretful. So he's teaching him in a nurturing manner. This is why he said he had to team up with somebody because he didn't stand a chance by himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
he linked up with number 4, the Lizard. Then them two became a dynamic team. But what I love about his role though, he was more like an investigator of the whole clan. You know what I'm saying?
Lizard.
But Reborn,
Lizard in the total.
You gotta remember he was doing what the teacher told him.
Yes.
He was studying him because he knew all the techniques. He even had iron skin.
Yeah.
But the toe died too quick, and that's why he beat the centipede so quick. Because he said he chose the Lizard because the Lizard was just a regular good guy, but
he was righteous among all of them.
The Lizard didn't reveal his shit to the end. He I'm the baddest thing. Like I'm ready to get busy on the Scorpion.
See, he went to the bar and he got drunk. That was his thing, though. You know what I'm saying? He was like a fun-loving, good dude. But when he get bit, he was on some other. You know what I mean? He was on some other stuff when he got bit. So when he got bit, when he went in the joint and he threw the joint down, it was like, and he ripped the shirt off, like he wanted that smoke. He didn't care nothing about none of that.
None of that shit.
That's that little brother, right? That was
that was his homeboy. The Toad, that was his main dude. So it's like, nah, he about to let that shit slide.
And he was the dude that was thorough. That still keeps stuff calm. He was like, yo, chill. Like if you want to give me something,
you know what it taught me, from watching that shit. It taught me, that you can change the reality of a situation just by going super hard.
Yeah. Or not
sit around and wait for them to go to court and this and that. He took the whole universe in his hand and he molded that shit and he got rid of them niggas pronto.
that was after the fact, right? You see what I'm saying? That was after the fact. So even the guy who was the student, he becomes the guy that learned from the mistakes and the greatness of the people who came before him. But he didn't stand a chance in reality. The teacher was real with him. He told him like, "Yo, fam, like I taught you all that, but
I can, but
you won't be able to take by yourself." All of that is theory. Yeah. All of that is theory until you get in the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that theory until you get in the battle. So this is what I'm talking about. Where even with the discussion we was talking about with the MCs, all of that stuff. Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan, so they get punched in the face. Once you get punched in the face, though. What you gonna do now? You understand? So it's cool you out there messing with these folks and they see you and they respect you and all that. But what if somebody don't respect you? Now your ass on the stage in Symphony Hall getting done up by somebody who hungry because you out here playing Rocky versus Clubber Lang type situation.
I was just about to say that too.
Now you caught up.
Clubber Lang is a character. That's my guy right there.
And that's the thing about it.
You had to match the dutifulness with somebody who know how to execute and put it in. So it's two halves of the same whole. So the dutifulness, he didn't deviate from the instructions that he was told. You see what I'm saying? So the basic instructions he got, he was like, all right, I got to find somebody to pair with. I'm not going out there to I'm going to go do this myself type situation. He's like, nah, I'm going to be in the cut and then I'm going to find somebody that I can pair with that got the real experience. I can share the wisdom and remind him of something that he forgot so he can see that I was truly there. But the application is a whole nother thing. How do you apply what you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really know it?
That's where the real wisdom comes in.
All that shadow boxing look good. All that shadow boxing look real good. The bag work, all that look good. You don't see none of that in the ring.
I'm gonna tell you something too. This is something a lot of people don't peep out when they watch the 5 Deadly Sins. The most evilest people in the movie die first. The people that killed and murdered to try to get into their position die first. Because the universe ain't on your side no more. Because karma always come back around. So even though you killed little man over here and killed Toad man over here and did this and that or whatever, the universe always got to balance itself out. So being that you already killed already,
you're gonna reap what you sow.
Now guess who on the chopping block now?
Yeah.
So like I always tell people, you know what I'm saying, keep your hands as clean as you can. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying, what you put out in the universe,
you gonna reap what you sow.
That shit always come back. So that's why we tell niggas like, you know what I'm saying, you know, when you look at the 5 deadly sins, you can look at all the mastery and the kung fu, you know, you can look at all of that shit that you want to. But at the end of the day, when you fuck up, the universe fuck you up.
But you do that bad karma.
Yeah, that's why they was the first ones done. They the most evilest ones, the snake and the centipede, was out of here. The lizard.
They killed this.
The lizard survived.
And listen, what you learned about the toad. The toad, the first thing you should always learn, if you a master, stay a master. Once you bow down and you become a slave, guess what happens to you?
You end up becoming that.
You become a slave. So even though you got all this power and you the most invincible person there, if you listen to your homie or listen to him and you don't stay within your own square and say, I'm gonna do what's always best for me and self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Facts.
Now you sitting there in a hot bodysuit. You got the hot iron bodysuit on, trying to figure life out.
They killed him 4 times.
4 times, the nigga. They, you know what I'm saying? The nigga sitting there they pressing the nigga like a hot iron. The nigga sitting there like. So you know what I'm saying? There's many lessons to be learned watching that movie, yo. Like,
they put his feet.
Yeah, because that was evident of his
they
quick
did the
temper,
toe-
his
and
hot-head nature. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that I cried or anything like that, but when I saw how bad they did the toe, Joe, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Put that nigga in the iron board, Joe.
Yeah. But you know something? But you know something? It always
he thought he couldn't be touched.
Yeah, not only that, but it always seems like the just or the innocent always being murdered by
you know you invincible. You not taking me to jail. If I'm invincible, I'm not gonna let you bring me down to your status so you can kill me. I'm not gonna give you the ability. As soon as you get close,
told him to chill. That was like his man told him to chill. They wouldn't have been able to contend with Buddy. He was like, but he had to be in a joint where he was vulnerable enough for them to find his weakness. So you hang around them suckers long enough, and them suckers, they're gonna find your weakness. They're gonna find what it is. So his thing was he ain't trust the courts, he ain't trust the police. He like, you know what I'm saying, F the police. You understand? He's like, nah, because it's always gonna be some wickedness. So he in the cut, he like, nah, man, I'm good. I ain't going down there. You understand what I'm saying? So when they put him in the joint, when they put him in the box, his thing was they offended his honor. He was stand wrongly accused. So he wasn't even fighting from the same space that he would normally fight from. He was fighting from a space where he was trying to vindicate that. So that's his
is that if that's your man, right? Y'all cool and y'all niggas is holding shit down. You don't sit around and wait for the enemy to give you a justification on why they killed your homie. Yeah. The lizard was like, man, I'm not sitting around and waiting on y'all to tell me why y'all killed the homie. Like, nah, man, we gotta handle this shit.
Nah, because the lizard was too nice.
Yeah, they played him and sent him out of town.
He was like, yo, just go, man. Trust me. He gave the toad his word.
He sent them off.
Yeah, he said,
to his dad. Yeah, he said
to his dad.
Yeah, he told him to help him. He told him to help him.
Yeah, because he knew that he sent this homie to his death. But he should have.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one. Let me say.
Yeah, he told him.
He sent them off with the letter about make sure he don't make it out of battle.
Number 4 told his co-worker, which was actually number 3, help him. He doesn't understand the law, so protect him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was the whole point, to go and convict, you know what I'm saying, the centipede. But nevertheless, they put fear in Juan Far's heart and made him lie on the number 5, the toad, and told him that he was guilty for killing all them people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was it. You know,
propaganda conspiracy.
Yeah, propaganda.
Movie like that deals with real life as well too.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
Yo, remember the Scorpion? He played on his greed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said, if you fight with me, I'll split the money.
he said,
And he jumped out there and started fighting.
he said, Centipede, don't be dumb. Fight with me, or else they'll finish you. Then they started fighting again. He said, you help me with
He was right though. He was right though, because they was gonna finish his ass. He was gonna finish him. He wouldn't
They brought the snake down.
Yeah, they'd have brought him down. He was next on the menu, so it's like he was right. He was right. Like, nigga, hey, either you fight for the money, or nigga, they gonna kill you. He thought about it. Like,
that motivated him. That motivated him.
Get out there and fight.
I gotta watch it again tonight. You know what?
That motivated him.
The Scorpion knew number 2.
Yeah.
Like he said, but he never was cool with number 1. Only person who knew each other was number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
And number 3 and number 2. So they both knew him, but the Scorpion would only visit the snake.
Yeah.
But with his mask on.
He never revealed himself. Yeah. He wouldn't reveal himself. He would keep his mask on. So the snake, he said, but who are you?
Yeah.
He said, yo, the nigga
at the end, he was like, I know who you. He said, why you not fighting? He said, why you not fighting? He said, it's not my fair. Now, is it? He said, I know who you are. And that's when number 4 looked at him, was like, because that was his partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were both in the police officer. So he looked at him like, but he revealed himself when he did that shit.
Society, man. When you understand really how society goes, man, just from watching that movie, you can see how, like today I was studying the Egyptian police. A lot of people don't know that the Egyptian
Law and Order.
Yeah, the Law and Order was the first police that they could date back as far as history. So their police force was around like 0.5%, which was higher than even now that you have in America, which is like 0.3%. So it's like, you know, just from studying, you know what I'm saying, how people move and navigate throughout the justice system, that same shit that you think that's out there to provide you with, you know what I'm saying, balanced justice, man, it be people in the background, you know what I'm saying, making political moves, because you go back and you listen to the governor was just doing whatever the snake and the centipede told him to do. Right. And if it meant burning the toad up, and the toad was convinced that the governor had power and dominion over him,
there's a problem with that too. There's a problem with that too, because the judge, he fell for the robbery from number 2 instead of maintaining his integrity and executing the law by justice.
He was the weakest one out of all of them, though.
Yeah.
He was the weakest one out of everybody. He was the mere mortal that was playing against the gods, the 5 deadly venom. They was all gods. He was still on a regular human basis. I'm a governor, that type shit, but he still had godlike power because he had power over the people.
Yeah, which the governor?
The governor did.
And, I always wondered what style he wasn't with the 5 deadly venom, but he was just evil, right?
He was just evil. His style was, I know I can't beat these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I can't beat damn one of these niggas. But what I can do is play these niggas against each other and save my position and sit on the throne. You know what I'm saying? You hurry up. You know, back in the Chinese days, if you did something wrong, the judge would take the stick and throw it at your feet. And whatever that stick was, that's the punishment that you was about to get.
They get that from Kemet, because that's the Philadelphia.
Yeah, they get all that from Kemet. The whole
There was a saying.
He's like torture.
Yo, there was a saying that
threw the joint at his foot, and when he threw it at his foot, you looked down and saw what it was. It was like, oh shit, they about to whip the bottom of my feet with a paddle.
Yeah.
That sounded like
yo, there was a saying that number 5 would say to number 4, the same way how I feel about hip hop today, as real MCs, where he said, all our hard work was for nothing. Our skills are useless. We can't reveal them. We gotta hide them. Then he said, you should have joined a different clan.
Well, that's the thing about having magic powers. You can't reveal your magic powers to the public, because if you reveal your magic powers to the public, guess what the public gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Captain, what's his name? Superman we walked around as immortal.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't walk around as Superman with glass, because he knew that if he walked around in his true image, he will automatically be put on the altar, and then be trying to kill him. The powers that be.
But
There was times when Jesus would heal a person, he would command them, "Don't tell who did this for you, but go and show yourself to the priest."
I want to go back to what you said. Wasn't that evil though? About Superman hiding his power?
Who what power? Hiding your power?
To appear mortal? Wasn't that evil?
Nah, because if you want to appear mortal amongst the mortal, and you know the mortal outnumber you, then it becomes a survival mode. Because it's like my homie told me when I was locked up: the weak outnumber the strong. So being that the weak outnumber the strong, yeah, that's a fact.
I can't rock with that because let me ask you a question. The philosophy of Lex Luthor is you turn yourself into a human and become the worst version of us to hide among us so we won't look at you, instead of bringing your knowledge to empower us to make us better. You want us to look at you as less than, as being one of the weakest of us?
Nah, because I'm going to tell you something about human beings. Listen to me. Human beings converse on both knowledge and wisdom. Human beings are both negative and positive beings. So any relationship you get with humans, it's going to be negative and positive. They might praise you in the beginning, and then in the end, they be trying to crucify your ass like they did Jesus. That's one of the main stories people forget. Even though the people praised them, it was some that told them, nigga, you walking around talking about you a God. Who gave you the power to say that you a God? Now you talking about you have the right to do this? So then what they do? They started stoning them. Jesus turned around, he said, many good works I do, yet ye stone me. They said, for your good works, we don't stone you. You being a man calling yourself God is the reason why we stone you.
Then he said, did it not say in your laws that you are gods?
From which the word God came from. But guess what happened? They still killed him.
No, because now you're doing two different subjects. I'm not doing Jesus versus Superman.
We're talking about mortals and human beings.
Right, but no, I'm talking about what you're talking about with the Superman thing. We're talking about mortals
and human beings.
I understand that, but you did two different subjects. Let's stay on the subject.
What's the difference between Jesus and Superman?
No. Let's stay on the subject first. Because I went to the philosophy of mortal men and weakness. You went to Jesus and righteousness. That's two different things. Because I'm gonna be honest.
No, it's not.
It is.
I guess he's talking about. I guess he's talking about
human nature.
I guess he's talking about the principle of authority. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, when you understand,
like what's the authority? Like who gave you the authority to do these things? You being a man, calling yourself God. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's talking about as far as comparing both of them. You know what I mean?
It's Superman stories. When you go listen to Superman stories, it's Superman stories when you have Batman was saying that Superman didn't have the authority to do the things that he was doing. So Batman was trying to kill Superman. Why was he trying to kill him? Because he felt like even though Superman felt like he was who he was, Batman didn't feel that way. So because Batman didn't feel that way, he wanted to challenge the crown. And that's just the word. That's just how the world is set up. The world is set up where man only praises man for only a short time before man turns on man. That's just the reality.
I respect that, but we're talking another. That's a third topic. That's not the main topic. I talked about the philosophy of Lex Luthor, not Batman and not Christ, because those are three different flames of thought. Like I said, I'm sticking to the.
What's the difference between
conversation?
Lex Luthor was a supermortal too.
I'm gonna go back to the original conversation. The conversations, which was the philosophy of Lex Luthor, is not the fact.
Conversation.
That's where my question came from.
Was on the 5 deadly venoms. We want to talk about those things.
And I didn't talk about the whole movie. I ain't talking about the whole movie. I did not talk about the whole movie because you're still adding on to that, but the subject changed. So I'm asking you something.
When did the subject change?
When I asked you a question.
What's the question?
Thank you. So as I was saying, we were talking about the Superman thing, and I introduced the philosophy of Lex Luthor, which wasn't about the Christ thing.
I apologize. I swear to God, I didn't.
So when I went to that,
you talking about Lex Luthor? I swear to God, I did.
I said the philosophy of Lex Luthor, and I said that the philosophy was that Superman and his evil was the fact that when he wanted to be mortal, he presented himself as the worst kind. And that
he
was
was a
taken
reporter in the media.
He was a dunce. He was clumsy. He was hidden. He did not represent the best of humanity to aid towards the betterment of humanity. He hid himself as a less than human, and that's what made people hate Superman. Not the fact that he had the powers and could fly and all that. That's just carnal jealousy because he could do something I couldn't or whatever. The Luthor mentality was humanity on this planet is the best at what it is. And you have an alien come from space that mocks us by not reflecting our best, but hiding to be as one of our worst to stand out. And that elevates him even more ahead of us than meeting us at our level. That's what I was talking about. I don't give a damn about Batman because white supremacy is his main power. Who gives a fuck? I respect the 5 deadly venoms thing because spiritually, the 5 deadly venoms was about government. It was about ability. It was about human society and interactive. I got that. But when you use Superman, especially that being a stolen God story from our people, first of all, and then turned into an immigrant story, the one thing that really bothered me with the Superman story was the Lex Luthor philosophy. You come to a nation, and instead of reflecting the best to see the nation grow, you come to us as one of our worst, and then elevate yourself to be above us. So you're like an anomaly that we can't obtain to, because when you're among us, you're your worst. But when you're out, you're better than all of us. You don't see the yin and yang in that. You don't see that counterbalance of identity in that.
I'm gonna tell you what I see. I do see the yin and yang in that. But what I also see, exactly what I said, is that you have somebody that has to portray themselves on a day-to-day basis as being a normal human being so that he doesn't get the attention, of being a immortal. So the thing is that when you're trying to live a regular life, but you see danger that's coming, so you know you have the ability to change that dynamics. So you go get up out of your every day to go change the dynamics of what's going on, but you don't want the attention of sitting on the throne, because once you go sit on the throne, what's going to happen is everybody's going to try to kill you. Because this is an old story. So being that it's an old story, you have stories of us going to go sit on the throne, and then everybody trying to kill us. So then everybody trying to kill us, you like, okay, well, let me just sit back and behave and be a part of the beehive, as opposed to just being the hornet that come through and just do whatever the fuck I want to do. So it's like, when you have those abilities, it's like, man, sometimes you want to have the ability to turn that shit off, because, man, that shit become a headache.
To all of us, what was Superman's name?
Clark Kent.
Kyle.
That was his
alias name.
Alias.
Oh, his real name was
his human name.
Kal-El.
I don't know.
Kal-El.
Kal-El?
Yes.
What they called him? Huh?
Kal-El?
What they call Krypton?
Yeah.
From the
Whatever they call him on Krypton, because they gave him that. That was a title.
They call him Kal.
Kal-El. I never even known that.
He's from the house of El. El is God in human terms. We know that. But he's from the house of El, which is God. So yeah. But his name is Kal. But I still look at what you said, and I agree with you. Nothing negative of what you said. But a hero is only as good as his villain, because you need a counter thought to make your place in the world. And the thing that I look at with Superman is, I never liked Superman. I thought he was a piece of shit from the door. I never liked him. Never. But I'm gonna really look at you with this. When you look at Superman and you said you have all this power and you want to do this and you want to, such and such and such, right? Superman represents everything evolution, elevation, and even providence, it's a whole negative to everything that and what he is and what it stands for. How did he make the human race better? He didn't. All he did was inject his genes into a woman, and then you have millions of years where Superman gets cancer. He has to live in the sun, but his children did not elevate humanity. They destroyed humanity by fighting on the planet.
Hold up.
I don't see elevation in that. Wait a minute. No, let me finish my thought.
Okay,
You got it. Just let me finish. I don't see. There was a thing in the scriptures where it talked about the law of the stranger, right? I don't see the law of the stranger being executed in Superman. Also, it said in the scripts, you don't put an alien or somebody that's not of your nation ahead of your nation because they won't give the best to you. That's the Luthor thing, because instead of coming here and showing humanity how to get better, you overrun humanity by showing it how weak it is and not giving humanity the fruits of your wisdom to make it better. That's why he's the bad guy. I'm not saying that he's inherently good, but he's the bad guy because he challenges, you came here with all this power, and instead of sharing the wisdom to ensure our survival, you show us how weak we are and try to make us dependent on you to make our world better. That's evil. So I'll let you go on what you're going to say, but I'm just saying, I like the counter thought of things because we can all agree, but fuck that. I want to disagree and learn and not just be in agreement. So go ahead, bro. I got you.
All right, so listen. Who said it was Superman's responsibility, yo, to fucking do all of that shit you talking about? Like
he did it. He did it. But that's what he did.
Yo, just keep it way 100, yo.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
Let me say this clip real quick. It's about to prove both of y'all point right here.
Nah, just keep it.
Who said it's his responsibility?
And Batman was running around with the police.
You put it. Listen to me. Let me finish now. Let me finish now.
Let me finish.
Will be.
Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury.
You heard correct
That's
argument,
when
right?
when he went to the cave.
That's why when you pull back all of the stuff for the people that they prop up in front of you, and you make your determination not based off of your mind, but the mind that's already presented or supplanted in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who told you that this guy was a good guy? You know what I mean? Like, I watched the Twilight Zone episode where my man was like, he thought he was in heaven and he was in hell. He's like, yo, I want to go to the other place. He said, this is the other place. You understand what I'm saying? So the perception in regards to this, you got this billionaire dude, orphan, running around with the police, and the chief of police allows him to be a miscreant and a vigilante in the streets that his family was responsible for destroying. His family is responsible for the state of the condition that he's running around in spandex and shit with military-grade weapon and armor fighting against poor people. You know what I'm saying? He running around with the chief of police. The insane asylum is his mother's family, and his technology is his father's family, and wonder why the streets wanted to kill them both. So, on the real cleanup thing that he was really wanting to do, he had the chance to do that with the League of Shadows, but he had to kill to get in the clique to lead the pack for that recompense. So he ain't want to do it. But what did he do? He stole all of the information from the people, and then he tried to sneak his ass back to the city. So he over there causing himself, wreaking havoc in the city for a thing that he was really afraid of. He was the Batman because he was afraid of bats. You see what I'm saying? So like, this is how people do. They can steal your birthright and go roll and try to masquerade as you. How the hell this dude named Kal-El, right? And he show up as some white dude. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a smack in your face twice. And the only thing that could hurt him is something from his planet. That don't sound righteous to me. That don't sound like something that you're supposed to have. So a piece of his planet could be weaponized against him to make him not only normal, but weak. You So he's masquerading on the planet as himself. You saw him in his true nature when he's exposed to this rock or this piece of stimuli that's supposed to be from his home. You see what I'm saying? So how he getting power from the sun? He comes from the land of two suns. You see what I'm saying? So now you're looking at a space where it's like, oh, they enabling this dude saving the day. He's a hero. Can nothing stop him? Oh, nothing that we could make on the planet can stop him? How could that, like, what's to stop him from going rogue and saying, yo, this is it? So the people that's from his planet, the real people that's from his planet, was those cats, Zod and them that came from the planet. They're like, oh, y'all food. You understand? So what's the difference between this guy and this guy? So one guy comes like he's saving the day, and the other guy coming with the real intention. You see what I'm saying? We talking about symbolism. The dudes that came that was from the gutter that his father and them tricked and threw him in the Phantom Zone, they showed up in all black.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying about that business?
It was hard, too. It was hard.
Right. Coming fresh out. They're like, yo, what's good with this planet, man? Like, it ain't no challenge over here. So that same dichotomy that they showed, because they did it in a couple of joints, especially in Superman 3, when they showed his real nature versus this nature he was trying to masquerade. He was trying to suppress. You see what I'm saying? So this clip from Kill Bill is talking about homegirl trying to suppress who she really was. You said, I'm a superhero? No. You're a natural born killer. So it speaks to your nature. You're not going to escape your nature. I don't care how far you're going to go. If you came from Krypton all the way to Earth, your true nature is going to come out when it's really exposed.
Yeah, when it's time to come out. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like Superman was Superman when he wanted to help people. Other than that, he didn't want to be Superman because he was the alien of the whole planet. So being that he knew and understand who he was the alien of the whole planet. He didn't want to reveal himself because he knew automatically once they knew who he was, he'd be put on a platform. So he didn't want that platform. He wanted to blend in with everybody. But if he can help you out, he'll help you out. Just keep it.
Then why hide? Because you said, well, when did he ask for all this? As soon as you come out and show the world who you are, you can't hide. Because now you're starting a dependency.
If you good at hiding,
and look how dumb he think you is. He think he can put on some glasses and all of a sudden he ain't nobody. Look, he take his glasses off and then he's a superhero. He put his glasses back on and all of a sudden he ain't.
That doesn't work.
Like,
it works though. It doesn't.
Look,
it doesn't.
The truth is, is that his family have been coming back and forth to Earth forever. That's why they knew where to send them.
What was this?
Was it Fortress of Solitude on another planet or was on Earth? That was everybody in his lineage. Fortress of Solitude. It wasn't just his. They was coming back and forth to Earth. That's how they knew where to send them. They're like, all right. It wasn't no random toss-up. They had a whole joint built up for them because they had already foresaw what was going to happen on the planet because they've been coming back and forth to Earth forever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this joint, it wasn't like he had to go through some shit that a human wouldn't have made it through that journey, right? You was talking about the desert earlier. That frigid temperature wasn't nobody going to make it. Guess who made it out there? Lex is like, nah, fam. We're going to go out there and find this joint. You know what I'm saying? So this is the looks of.
I get what you said.
Do you remember? Do you remember? I think it was in the third Superman, but them three guys was like, "Yo,
what's it? Correct.
I found the weakness in him. He loves people."
I totally get what you saying, Kareem. But what I'm telling you is that your sentiments on how Superman feels, Superman knows that. So he knows that it's people like you, Kareem, that feel that way. That's like, yo. Nigga, you got all these powers and shit, nigga. How come you not stopping everything that? And the Superman, like, nigga, I don't want to do all that shit. So you know what I'm saying? So he's like, nah, nigga, you gotta go out there and you gotta do it. You Superman, go be Superman. You can't switch up and be immortal. And he like, man, I just want to be immortal just like y'all. He like, fuck that shit. Nigga, go out there, be Superman. Nigga, do that shit. You ain't out there being Superman, nigga, we coming to get you. And Superman like, man, I just want to be cool. He like, fuck being cool.
Nope, that's not my sentiments. That's not my sentiments. That's not how I feel about Superman.
In other words, he here for a purpose. So fulfill your purpose. Yeah, fulfill your purpose.
No, that purpose is null void. That's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, no, that's bullshit. Because look, I'm gonna tell you what my thinking of Superman is. I was always that person who saw deeper. Superman never went to the hood. So what the fuck do I care about an alien that comes to the planet who wants to save nuclear weapons, but he can't save people from the shit that goes down in the regular world?
Stanley never went to the hood either, yo.
No. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Stanley never went to the hood too.
Well, how about this? Fuck Santa Claus, I don't care. Let's stay on purpose. Now listen, if you know the original stories of Superman didn't fly. All that nigga did was jump high. If you know about the original things about Superman was fighting against bank robbers and shit like that. If you know the story of Superman, a man from DC Comics got fired because he made a book about Superman fighting the KKK, and they said it wasn't his job to fight racism. It was his job only to protect people through World War II and get them to know that America was the best country. So, and understanding that and the stories of him being an alien and him showing humanity is best and all that, you made a symbol. You stole a story and you made a symbol, a false symbol of hope that was showing the world, the new world, the alien coming into power. American history, the Polish, the Germans, the Italians, that was their story. That's not ours. So even if you look at their story, infiltrated, weak, was a power showing itself, and unfortunately you had half of the world wanting to be that and other half saying, wait a minute, something's wrong with that. That's the dichotomy in the yin yang of society with it as a whole. I don't give a fuck about he didn't want that. It's a fucking cartoon. I don't care. But the whole thing is, when you look at what it is it the exposure of humans always wanting a God to praise, or is it the frustration of humanity having the God gene and not doing its best to become the gods themselves? That's how I always saw Superman. So we can argue the character all you want. I'm looking at the philosophy and the psychology of it. All superheroes, no matter what you think, feel, or say, every superhero is a part of the human psyche brought to life to help people manage their insecurities or their multiple personalities. Spider-Man and Batman are the most popular superheroes we have. Why? Because one deals with loss and one deals with consequence. Someone was always the kid who wasn't cool, who wanted the girl and had to prove themselves, or someone went through incredible loss and then had to build themselves up from being the bottom. All right? One of the best superheroes ever made that don't get the credit is Wise Son, the 5% of superhero that took all people's energy and gave it back to him with strength and consequence. That character became Bishop of the X-Men. And when they stopped making those characters, it was always tell their story, but what about what we go through in our pain? Well, remember, the psychology behind the character explains either a person's deficiency with themselves or they're projecting something that they want society to either think about or consider. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can have it. Fuck Superman, all right? I'm into our people and how we build. Hip-hop all the time. Nothing else. I digress.
Sure indeed. You know, the thing about it is that when you're dealing with what they call superheroes, right? It's a lot of, just we going deep like that, it's a lot of just us as a people who dim our own light to deal with society. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us that dim our own light to deal with society. I have that problem personally. I walk around with, you know what I'm saying, big gold on my neck with the first, actually, hey, Rue. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the shit, the light won't even show the joint. It's just crazy like that. You know what I'm saying?
I salute you. That's what's up.
But the thing about it is that even us as black men, you know, since we going on that level, even us as black men, we turn down our light to deal with society because, like I said, dealing with with the Toad. The Toad got caught up in not knowing his own strength and power and standing on his own square and was like, you know what, as opposed to me just ending this battle and any opposer who opposes my will and dominance, I'm going to chill out because my homie said that I need to just go ahead and sit down and just let them do this or whatever.
It was the list.
As opposed to just establishing my own dominance, I dim my light for my homeboy because I didn't want to shine too bright and just evolve the whole situation, even though the Toad had the power to actually do that. Because he had already showed and proved that he can beat Centipede. He already showed and proved that he can beat Snake. So then he already showed and proved he can beat them. The governor and all of his henchmen was really no threat. The only person he listened to was the person that he looked at as his friend. So we do that all the time. As, you know what I'm saying? We do that all the time as a people as far as dimming our own light down to deal with society. That's all I was saying as far as what Superman was doing, because it's the same thing that we do. We all dimming our light, man, to deal with society because we do have the most dominant power as beings when you mastered yourself to being a master. I'm just talking about the master, those who master 120, those who consider themselves to be master. Once you reach that certain level when you are a master, then it's like when you're looking at society, it's like my homeboy taught me, the weak outnumber the strong. Mm-hmm. So I do not behave like the 85, I behave like the 5 and the 10. Mm-hmm. Knowing that I am who I am, I stand on my own square and I don't let other people come in and tell me what my limitations of my power is or what they should be.
100%. I agree. But isn't it funny? How everyone talks about the Toad and that strength, but there's the Lizard who actually mastered elevation because he could see life on different levels. So the Lizard was necessary for the Toad to be powerful. So everybody talk about he had the strength to beat and whatever. Yeah, it's good if you can run through a wall, but it's also good to know there's a wall and the pit behind it so you know not to run through that wall. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? The Lizard was the nigga in that video, in that movie. Everybody could talk about speed.
He had excellent character too. You know what I'm saying? He had excellent character too.
Once perfected, he will be able to walk up walls like a lizard.
Yeah.
He's the one extended. He said when he goes to the top level, he will be able to walk up the walls as a lizard. So only when he achieved and when he really got into it, he was able to become the real lizard and walk up the walls. He didn't do it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, somebody said a cold shit in the chat line. They said it takes a Toad a long time to learn that he's being boiled.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
True indeed.
Talk about it. A Toad was made to be a tank. A Toad was made to hold a spot.
That's the strength and weakness and everything. Everything has a duality to it. It has its strength and its weaknesses. So it's like when you're looking at all the superheroes, it don't matter which hero that you bring up, they all have a strength.
Bless you.
They all have a strength and they all have a weakness. The thing about it is, it's like Farrakhan said one time, some of our weaknesses are less pronounced than others. Some people might look at me and be like, man, his weakness is he love pussy.
The flesh.
Your weakness might be you love video games.
That's flesh too. Talk about it, Reborn. That's flesh.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this to Reborn. Let's go back to the beginning. The teacher had students. They was the first. It was the second.
The second generation, right?
It was called the Poison Clan.
Yeah.
The Poison Clans had the treasure.
Yep.
The second niggas was them.
Yeah.
So they were like,
let's go get
hip hop.
Yeah.
And 88 compared
to the
90s.
Yeah. We followed them, but they completely demolished the 88 niggas. Yeah. Rakim, Slick Rick. They thing was to take out niggas before them and out-rob them.
Right.
And then here you go with Cannabis.
Yep.
In
the late 90s. In the late 90s.
Big pun. Yeah, LL. The way LL did Kumo D was disrespectful, but he showed them the looseness versus the stiff rap code. Because I give this to Coogee Rap. I know I give this to Kumo D. Kumo D was lyrical, but he was stiff. he didn't have but he
The
was
swiftness. The swiftness.
You agree?
Yeah, the swiftness.
Yes.
I mean, because LL had the swiftness, and he was a ladies' man.
Shoot 3-pointers.
So
yes.
he had that presentation. You know what I mean?
Yes. And then honor to Kumo D. He had his time because he made Melly Mel. He destroyed whatever he did.
Yeah.
But then
even Kumo D went after Busy B too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he went after Busy B.
Yes.
Yeah, he went after Busy B.
But see,
I remember I met Busy B in Harlem back in 06 in the summer.
He was fly. He's real fly, right?
Yeah.
Fly. He was the fly nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga, you can't touch me. I got jury and I DJ. I got all the bitches. I fly. But then he met an MC who embarrassed him, and that was Kumo D. Kumo D embarrassed him. Mm-hmm. He said, "Take all of that bomb, and all the bitches went to him." But Kumo D had to meet his fate through LL. LL
did him
was
bad.
elusive.
Yeah, did him bad.
He had the commentating, illustrate. What's it, my man? Mm-hmm. It's yours.
Tila Rock.
Skylar Rock.
Tila Rock.
Tila Rock. Yeah, Tila Rock.
The first Rock Hill.
Yeah.
That shit was glorious. But LL had all of that maneuver.
Yeah.
And then it changed. So LL, his intent was, nigga, how could you battle me when you're so stiff and not elusive? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the technique of the Centipede. When he was like, yo, nigga, I'm coming in. That's
why I say Centipede had the illest style of fighting.
He had the illest uniforms too.
Yeah.
But when it came to it, the toe showed that nigga.
The toe head.
Huh? The toe
told him. Yeah.
No, the toe grabbed his head. His head. The toe grabbed the nigga's head back. Yeah. Yo, threw the nigga in jail. Held his head. Held him by his head. Said, yo, come get this dude. Dude. Threw him. Yo, the Centipede did all that breakdancing shit.
Yeah. That shit don't mean shit. That shit don't mean nothing, yo. And shit, yo. So it's life, yo. Everybody got their weaknesses, man. Superman, Batman, all of us, yo. Even a black man. Yo, that's something, I'm going to tell you something.
White women? No,
as black men, yo, we haven't acknowledged our weakness. One of our weaknesses, yo, have been, yo, is that we don't spend enough time in the lab and figure out what the problem is when it comes to ourselves, of dealing with ourselves as far as a community is based. Mm-hmm. We don't actually sit down and be like, okay, boom, how do we fix this problem that we have? A lot of times we don't do that. I'm going to tell you how I know that to be. I know it to be that because we still got 700,000 niggas still locked up right now. Mm-hmm. So being that we got 700,000 niggas still locked up right now, we can sit here and say that we have the solution, but the numbers don't show and prove that. The numbers show and prove that we are still in bondage. And being that we are still in bondage, we still have to sit down and come to the table and say, what's the solution?
Well, we don't have a solution because all we have is theories. Because at the end of the day, if you have something,
not a solution. A theory is not a solution.
Right. That's why I said we don't have a solution. We have theories. And the reason why, because we don't have anything that unifies us under one cause. It's a horrible thing that in our community, there's thousands of religious institutions and many gods instead of one frame of righteousness. That separates us in a large manner, right? Deeper from that, the way this country is founded and built, the way we have been, and we as a people, the way we have been disenfranchised and put at a disadvantage, the reason why you have an 85, a 10, and a 5, in my opinion only, I'll say my opinion first, is because without that unifying thing, You have too many people fighting for an identity who have no sense of self or knowledge of who themselves are. So look at the history of the bully coon. The bully coon wasn't one person. The bully coon was the person who said, I'll do everything the white man says to gain favor for them, even if that means hurting my own people. And we have too many of our complexion that want that position instead of seeing righteousness be done.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only that, let's look at it from an education standpoint. I don't know what parts of the world all you gentlemen are from or have been at or whatever, but what I will tell you this: in our country, if you want to loosely call America a country, we have 12 or more frames of thoughts on every single thing we do, whether it comes from education, economics, schools of spirituality, even living styles. There's no moral norm. Everything's about conformity. Mm-hmm. And with the lack of a uniform identity, people are scrambling to matter because, unfortunately, poverty is used against us as an identity. We have people who will exhaust their means instead of living for a purpose. I heard a rapper say, we spend money that we don't have to impress people that we don't like, and that's life. That's not life. That's slavery. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, the things that we're talking about and the bondage that we are in is what you said, but it's so much more deeper that to find a solution, unfortunately, in the words of Nas, you got to destroy just to rebuild it. Now, how many people want to destroy to rebuild?
And let me hit you with this. I disagree with what you say as far as
that's peace.
You know, I'm peace with everything that you say, Lord, but I disagree with the aspect when you say that because we're all fighting, we don't know who we are, and that's this, that, or whatever. See, I was always taught that once you have knowledge of self, that's the first step. See, once I acknowledge the fact that, like me and Priest was talking about yesterday, dealing with the nation. Once I acknowledge that I'm a black man and I'm the Asiatic black man and I'm supreme being and I have the knowledge of the universe inside of my, you know what I'm saying, my circumference. Now that I know who I am, sky's the limit. Because now I can go back to the identity of what me and the God was talking about as far as understanding what is the supreme aspect of what a black man is. So when I look at across the whole globe and I look at what is the supreme aspect of what a black man is, I go back to Kemet. Because Kemet is a black man at his supreme dominance. I'm talking about building levels of society that haven't been matched or seen since. So what I do is I go back to the original form and I'll be like, okay, well, this is me when I was in my original form. When I was in my original form, I dressed, act, and behave in this manner. So being that I dress, act, and behave in this manner, let me go back to the original source. So being I go back to the original source, now that I go back to the original source, now I can elevate myself back up to the sky's the limit. So it's not that we don't, you know what I'm saying, we're all scattered across the earth. It's that we've been taken off of the original source. So being that we've been taken off of the original source, now I don't know who I am. And see, there's only two powers on this earth. That's order and disorder. So when I'm in order with self, there's nothing you can tell me about who I am because I know who I am. It's not a belief. I don't believe, I know. So being that I know, now it's like, I don't matter how many words or whatever frequency that you use to try to throw me off my square is still what it is. I'm an Asiatic black man who come from the now. And that when I built civilization up, I built civilization knowing that I had the ability to make and create anything I wanted into existence. Paper, pen, boats, airplanes, buildings, you know what I'm saying, food, chemicals, things of that nature. Had master and circumference over every element on the planet Earth. So being I have master and circumference over every element of the planet Earth, Now, instead of me sitting back wondering about what you're doing, I'm already in the lab. I'm making it, creating, I'm reinforming myself. When you see me, it's like, it's not a question. The God got the gold on his chest already. So I don't even have to tell you who I am no more, because my culture go tell you who I am. There is no debate with Min Kemperah.
I agree. I rock with you.
Hold on, brother. Let me hear from Reborn. Rebizzle.
Bizzle.
All right, this goes back to you know, when you go back into Genesis 1, you know what I'm saying? God created the heavens and the earth, obviously. Let us make man in our image and our likeness. What is man that's made in his image and his likeness? Is it merely his body that comes from the earth, or is it his spirit that is within him that reflects God Almighty, for who is spirit as well? You know what I'm saying? And those of us who worship him will worship him in spirit and truth. You know what I'm saying? This body that we live in, it's going back to the dust of the earth from whence it came. You know what I mean? It's only temporary. But the spirit that lives on forever, it goes back to the Most High God, who gave us his spirit, you know what I'm saying, who put himself and breathed the breath of life into us, so we can live out our purpose and glorify, you know what I'm saying, our creator, you know what I'm saying, in fellowship and worship. Because this earth that we living in is temporary, just like this life itself is temporary. But God, you know what I'm saying, is eternal. You know what I mean? So of course we got to give an account on what we do in this life. You know what I'm saying? How we lived our life. Did we live honorably and pleasing to him, or did we just live for ourselves? You understand what I'm saying? So of course, you know what I mean, we have a creator that we all have to give an account. You know what I'm saying? Did we honor him in our fellowship, in our relationships, in our marriage, in our jobs, you know what I'm saying, our everyday life? Where did we fall short at? How did we lose ourselves? We lost ourselves when we departed from the truth of God's word. You know what I'm saying? Hosea 4:6, God said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. But is it merely just any knowledge, or basically is it the knowledge of the truth, which is himself? You know what I'm saying? So once we come back to the knowledge of the truth, which is himself, he came in the form of a man, Jesus the Christ, the anointed Savior, and offer himself as a sacrifice to wash away our sins, because we all sin and we have a sinful nature. So we need to be reborn again, spiritually speaking, so that way we can walk in fellowship with our God again, with the Creator, and honor him in all that we do, in all that we say, and how we live. If we fall short, go back to the Lord, repent, make it right with him, and make it right with those who we offended, and keep walking this journey and keep living his life.
Now we won't let Knowledge Born go. Be fair.
It won't be fair.
We're gonna save Knowledge Born to the end. But all you gentlemen, and I'll say this, have presented your case with pristine and high exalted knowledge. This is the conversation we gotta have all the time.
Yes.
I respect each and one of you divine knowledge, because I learned something from each of you. The master told the student, which was the last lizard he chose.
Yep.
I've watched you all demonstrate your techniques.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't chosen all, but I've said, damn, because you got to look at it. You know, when he saw the centipede, he said, this nigga is fast.
Yeah.
But he knew the same technique, but he knew not to do it because he's the master.
Right.
And he knew the toe, but he's not strong as him. He said, I'm going to choose this nigga last. Because if he would have jumped the hand, the scorpion would kill you. Because the scorpion is a nigga. No, the scorpion is over here.
He's sneaky.
The scorpion is a neurological nigga. He said, how you know? He said, oh, I saw y'all hit the fight. I hit the nigga in his ears because that's the only way this yo, I love the snake.
It's always his ears. Mm-hmm. And then he had another weakness in Kid with the Golden Arms. It was his eyes. When the same lizard
talk to him
on in his face.
That's my second.
You know what I'm saying? Kid with the Golden Arms, another one. So it was always a weakness because in the Golden Arms, his arms was his weapon.
Yeah.
His technique was powerful and perfect. But then the lizard said, but I wasn't sure about his eyes. And in this one, he was called Agent High Toe, who was a drunk. So wine was his best friend. So at the end, when he got caught with the whip, spit in his eyes, and that's when it exposed his weakness.
Yeah, because everybody got a
me and my brother,
Yeah.
Timbo King.
Yeah.
Timbo King had the most powerful voice. No, I was young. More than anybody. Most powerful voice ever. Matter of fact, I fought Timbo King with that. Come here. Anybody. Timbo King destroyed them niggas.
Lyrically, yeah.
And I'll be behind because he was like a coochie rap nigga. That's what he liked. But he had the heart to do it. Timbo King would be like, fuck that shit.
Just go.
I remember I used to see Timbo Kane around 40 Deuce all the time back in the days.
That's what you remind me of.
Yeah, in front of Virgin Records too.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Lord, like I was telling my queen today, at the end of the day, man, you gotta tie your shoes. So being that you gotta tie your shoes, whatever you put yourself into, man, you better do that shit to the max, or you're not gonna get max results.
Facts.
Knowledge boy. We call on you right now.
Everybody add on.
It's about to be a rap.
Add on.
The best orator.
So you said he who has an ear, let him hear, right?
In our age, there's no
So you can
that put words.
hear with your eyes and see with your ears, right?
Yeah.
So the deficit was no matter what he saw, he thought he was greater, and no matter what he was told, he thought he was greater. So that was his own undoing based off of that. So he subjected himself. So even whether he listened to what his homie said or he didn't listen to what he said, that was his undoing. Because he was fiery and he was just ready to go, and he thought he was invincible. He thought he couldn't be touched. So what he sees and what he hears is the same. That's his own undoing. That's his own detriment. He didn't get destroyed. He destroyed himself. You understand what I'm saying? So all they did after that space of them of him being subjected and tested, because when you're impenetrable, people are not going to stop trying you. They're going to continue to try you. You understand? So you in a space where you tested. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, do you say the Holy Quran say it like this? Do they think because they say that they believe that they'll be left alone and not tested? The Bible said God loves those whom he tests. You understand what I'm saying? So that the forging process for you to go out in the battle, you know, I was talking about the sword earlier. The smith's job is to continuously submerge, resubmerge, forge, resubmerge, submerge with the space of fire and water. This is a process of a continual trial. So if his friend or his only consort, his lover was the wine, that was his undoing. You see what I'm saying? So it affected his sight and his hearing, those spaces that was intuitive for him. So he like, all right, I'm gonna go over there. So they say pride come up before the fall. So he'll go at it head on. Kid with the golden arms. It's like, all right, he'll go at it head on. So you're no longer thinking with the same mind that you would have to do the analysis of the situation before you move. So the thing that made the student wise, he judged wisely if nothing ever surprised him, is because he had that foreknowledge to go into the space, but he still had to wait for things to play out. He was in a cut. He had to do the analysis of the situation before he applied the wisdom. So folks do that wisdom before knowledge. You like, oh, you know, they tell you knowledge ain't nothing if it ain't applied. They start telling you all that crazy stuff. So you start walking around with that. Knowledge gives you the power to do or not do. What are you going to do with what you don't know? So there's a process to arrive at what you know. There's a process of synthesis that you go through in regards to acquiring information, and that's a battle testing process. So when the time for you to show and prove, you know, because you went through the process of saying what it is.
You've gained
so that
knowledge.
forging process. So if you look at this guy with this tough exterior, where was he internally? He was internally weak, and that was his undoing based off of what he couldn't see and what he couldn't hear. You know what I mean? So this is this spot. Back to the comment they said in the chat, they was talking about the toad takes the longest to realize that it's boiling in the pot, because these are the external layers and variants. Once you get to the inside, it's too late. So when you realize you're in the pot, you can't jump out. You see what I'm saying? So when they put him in the Iron Maiden joint, they put him in the pot. He's in the pot. He's getting cooked. He don't even know he's getting cooked. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so that epidermis and all the layers of skin are there as a barrier for protection because of the nature of what's on the inside. That hard exterior, but that soft, easily manipulated inside interior. So if we go back to the Willie Lynch joint, physically strong, mentally weak. So now the 700,000 people you was talking about, the men that's in prison, what was their motivation? To try to prove that they had some sort of hard exterior, but interior, you've been there. You know you see them cats come in like this and they be bent over. You understand what I'm saying? Like they be bent over, or they crying in their joint trying to get up out of there, because the internal part, if that's not strong, the physical thing ain't gonna do nothing for you. Somebody gonna wait, they're gonna peep like the Scorpio did, did, and find your weakness, and they're gonna hit you in that weak spot. So as equally in regards to equality means to deal equal in all things. So that little spot in regards to internal and external has to have due regard for both of them. Reborn, you said the physical is just a shell.
Yeah.
How great is this physical being to be the house where God dwells?
Right.
It has to be something more to this flesh. Otherwise, you wouldn't need it. You understand? So you animate it and you give it light, but you also got to give it credence, because this is where this is where you are embody God in the physical form. You know what I'm saying? So that's that equality space in regards to what it is. So when you see the whole picture, you can make an informed decision based off of everything. You see what I'm saying? Knowledge is accumulation of all facts. By look, listen, observing, learning, and most of all, respect. You see what I'm saying? So respect might cause you to look again. You see what I'm saying? Dr. Joy DeGroot, I agree with her functional definition of respect. Spec, the root word is look. Re is the prefix of again. You see what I'm saying? So
let me show you something.
You could hear something, right? Like just the last point. You could hear something and you could see something and you get it twisted the first time. When you go back, like, yo, I thought about what you said. Because in that space, you with it, you heard it now. So if you heard it, you can see it. Now I see where you're coming from. Because understanding is to see things clearly for what they are and not for what they appear to be. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to show you something. Years ago, back like around 2007, my pastor once put me onto this book called The Spiritual Man by Watchman Nee. And this book right here, it breaks down man in 3 parts, because we're made of a tripart with spirit, soul, and body. The spirit part of us is God conscious. The soul part of us is self-conscious. The physical body is world conscious. You know what I'm saying? So we operate in 3 realms as one. You know what I'm saying? So the self-conscious, you're dealing with yourself, you know what I'm saying, internalized. You know what I'm saying? It deals with your memory, it deals with your emotions, deals with your feelings, your desires. The spirit conscience deals with, you know what I'm saying, conscience, communion, and intuition, which is God conscious. So it's like this. Nobody has to tell you you're doing something wrong. It's already within you. You know what I'm saying? God said, I will put my laws into your hearts and them in their minds while I write them. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had this conversation with this brother that was, you know what I'm saying, that showed me the what's that, the 42 laws of Ma'at. And we compared the two between the 42 laws of Ma'at and the 10 commandments. And I said, I see God's hands in both of them because he put these laws within before the children of Israel ever came into existence. These laws already been within us ever since then, you know what I'm saying, which is in our conscience. So therefore, that's how we know we're not going to violate the next man. We're not going to steal from him. We're not going to kill this person. We're not going to commit adultery against this person. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has to tell you you're doing it wrong because it's already within you. It's in your conscience. And that's God's spirit rebuking you, letting you know you're doing the wrong thing or you're about to do the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So you start to internalize within yourself, in your soul. You start to reason, but then your spirit's like, no, this is wrong. But the soul part is like, nah, but this feels good. But the spirit's still like, no, this is wrong. So it's like, who we going to listen to or who we going to obey? You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when I used to study between the two, I always saw God's hands in both of the laws that has definitely similarities and things of that nature. So this book right here, it breaks down man in 3 parts. It says this right here. This is a complete presentation on the workings of the human spirit and soul and body. The book aims at delivering people from the tyranny of self-life with its carnality and from the domination and passions of the lust and of the flesh. It attempts to lead them to the full salvation of Christ. It is not to be taken as a manual, but as a guide to true spirituality. It is recommended that this 3-volume work be read quickly, thoroughly once, then lay it aside and wait until the Holy Spirit leads one into a certain stage of spiritual life when knowledge and understanding are needed. Turn then to the special section of this book dealing with that particular experience for enlightenment. Thus it will be realized that in thy light shall we see light. Psalms 36:9. May God use this book to help people in their journey towards the spiritual. So when I first read this book, you know what I'm saying, I took my time studying it, meditating on the truths that is within this book. Sometimes I might take notes and things of that nature because I felt like it was speaking directly to me. You know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend check out this book called The Spiritual Man by Watchman Nee. You know what I'm saying? He was a Chinese man that was back during the communism age and stuff like that, and they killed him and stuff like that because he was pouring out a lot of spiritual knowledge and jewels to his people and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
sure.
The thing about it is that when you're dealing with man, that's why I said that one of the reasons why Superman was hot is because when you're dealing with man in its totality, you understand that man is made of both good and evil. So it's just like going back to Adam, you know what I'm saying? Now that man has known the difference between good and evil and has made himself, all he needs now is to know from the tree of life.
Right.
So the thing is that that's why I said Superman understanding him being that he was on a higher level, he understood that him coming down to this planet, he done came to the planet of duality, a planet that both worships the nighttime and worships the daytime. And both equally, you know what I'm saying, subdivide themselves throughout a 365 calendar year.
Right,
you have the darkness that comes up and rules during the wintertime, and then you have the light that comes and rules during the summertime.
Right.
So now what happens is that being I came down to this planet, I understand how everything is going. I'm going to split myself into 2. To deal with the darkness of man, but also be the light of man.
Right.
So now that I can hide myself in the darkness of man, I'm going to also present myself in the light of man.
Right.
And then when you go back and you study ancient Killah, you start to study how you had Set and Heru. One that came from the desert that didn't have nothing. what we call it Europia, and then a soul who came from that had everything, which we call Africa or Africanus or whatever way you want to put, or Al-Kabalan or whatever. The one who had everything and the one who had nothing.
Right.
So now we dealing with a man that done came himself down as an alien, and he has everything. But he can't show everybody everything, so what he got to do? He got to show himself as being nothing.
Yeah, he's got to conceal it.
Showing himself as being everything. So that's why I say when it comes down to it, when you understand how life is going, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that happened to us.
Right.
We had to go back and study an empire that built everything, all the wonders of the world across the whole world. The pyramids in Mexico, pyramids in Africa, pyramids in China, pyramids in Peru, pyramids in India, pyramids in everywhere. Who conquered everything that was to be conquered. Yet turn around and now it's looked at as being. So the universe always is universe, and we always are going from having everything to having nothing. So I'm saying, you see us in the position now of having nothing. You go outside right now, correct? You go outside and cut down the tree on your block, what they gonna do to you?
Lock you up. Yeah.
So that means you have nothing.
No rights.
No rights.
Yeah, no rights.
Richard Pryor said, I couldn't have done the crime because I was locked up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
said, I was already in jail, but y'all try to, he said,
throw another charge on me.
Yeah, but I'm already locked up.
Already locked up.
They want to keep you there.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to keep us, institutionalized.
It's not even their goal because when you look at it as being higher than them, they're just doing what the universe gave you everything. And you built everything. Now the universe gives you nothing. And you have nothing but yourself, which is what you really had in the beginning the whole time. So the thing is that, like I was telling somebody today, you can't go out there and master the world if you ain't master yourself. It's impossible. So, when you're talking about the Trinity with this self of understanding the highest, I tell people all the time, like, I can't go outside right now and say, even though it's 60 degrees, I want it to be 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It don't work that way. The universe has already set the plateau of what it is. Now, if I want to make myself warmer, I go put on a coat.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So I can control myself, but I can't control the universe. The universe is raw. That's the universe.
The laws
Who I am, that's just myself.
The higher laws already set in motion.
Yeah, and then the fleshly being of myself, that's just me having a human experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, the thing about it is that the reason why we exalt rules or heroes, as we want to call them, the reason why we exalt these rules amongst us is because we know that those things are possible. And being that those things are possible, we exalt them because we know the limitation. Like I tell people, man know how to fly, get in an airplane and fly. Man know how to travel 80 miles an hour, get in a car and make it. Anything that he want to do, he can make it. Externally, internally, it doesn't matter. He has the ability to do that. The thing about it is that when you understand you have the ability to do that and make yourself super amongst those who are normal, you have a responsibility.
Right.
But like I was telling Kareem, everybody don't want that responsibility. So sometimes we dim our own light.
It's a heavy load too, yeah.
It's a heavy load.
It's a heavy load.
Heavy is the head that wear the crown. Everybody look at you as you are the savior now of everything that I need to be done in my life. Why can't I just be the king of my family, though? I don't want to be the king of you. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's
when they start seeing greatness in you and things of that nature, they'll flock to it. You know what I mean? Because especially if you giving knowledge and wisdom, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, Killah Priest and Sons of Man, they gave birth to many MCs. You know what I mean? They gave birth to many MCs. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and I ain't talking about rappers. I'm talking about MCs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how the universe works, bro. It's like, you know, you gotta think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we all got a greatness about us, man, that we dim us amongst ourselves.
The light.
Yeah, we dim the light. You know what I'm saying? Queens be telling me all the time, stop dimming your light. Don't dim your light. Be in your light all the time. But I tell them all the time, like, I don't want that attention all the time. Priest, I know for a fact he don't want that attention all the time. I'll give you a closed story. Me and Priest was in the car one time. We were driving back from Oakland. And I put some music on. Priest like, man, I don't feel like hearing that shit. I want to deal in my own thoughts right now. I don't feel like hearing myself right now. I want to deal within myself and think sometimes. You know, I've seen all the gods, man. They, you know what I'm saying? It's a duality to it.
I find myself nowadays listening to a lot of ambient, reflective, piano reflective, classical type music nowadays. You know what I mean? It just allows me to dig deep inside of things of that nature and just escape, you know what I mean, the world for a little while and things of that nature.
I want to tell you something, people. When you church on, stay on.
Mm-hmm.
My voice is not as strong as it used to be, but it will be.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something. When you church on, you stay on. I can't say it's better than not good brother Nas Bourne.
Right.
Nas Bourne's the only guy that made me want to cry on the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Miles. He went so deep. He had a conversation. And it struck. I was like, wow, this brother. And he wouldn't stop. Because he didn't want to stop. He knew. I turned it off now.
Yeah. To another zone.
No, but he knew it though.
Yeah.
He knew how his powers.
Yeah.
He knew his orientation. I said, damn, this brother is. Now, don't stop what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to R.I.P. to the late. Up the up. Don't stop what you're doing.
Stop what you're doing.
Right.
Because I'm about to ruin the style of the thing that
The image of the style that you're used to.
Yeah. Exactly.
I look funny.
First, yo, when you think about it.
But y'all, I'm making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Priest, I want to tell you, my song, My Brother's Keeper, that I sent to y'all a while ago, to be honest, that song was birthed off of your Prophets of Man when you said, from total strangers to best friends, from best friends to brothers, from brothers to never calling them again. My brothers, I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to put it right there. When I first heard that years ago, it had me thinking a lot. I started realizing that I was living a lonely path. I was trying to get in contact with everybody that I knew. Everybody would just seem to be gone, no longer know each other. It's like, yo, either hit me up on the text or Facebook message me. Nobody don't call no more. So that's why I did my song, My Brother's Keeper. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, the melody to it has the same similar melody to Prophets of Man, because I'm a study of music as well, in notes and things of that nature. So I felt the vibe was like just reflecting like back. You know what I mean? So that was powerful right there when I first heard Prophets of Man. You know what I mean?
That's like Muhammad Ali first fought Smoking Joe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can do everything. He never saw a left hook like that.
That's my great grandcousin right there.
Even Tyson said, you know what I'm saying, he didn't have a style of his own. He took a little bit of from everyone and incorporated as his own.
But that's what made him great.
Yeah. And that's the same thing like with me. I took a little bit of.
Well, Mayweather, and people go, no, Mayweather takes his time. He goes, no, I don't do that. That's one thing. I don't drink when I'm and he fights like it. He goes, I don't drink. No, you're supposed to train and you push it. He goes, the faster you get, the more Mayweather goes, no, you don't do that. He's almost like a Shaolin monk. Because he goes, no, I'll stick to the basics. I'll block that and I'll stay here. And I hit you with a jab, but stay in order to win. Because he jewels them and they go, damn, I'm trying to kill him. But Mayweather goes, no, it's not that hard. Stop. It's not. No, what I'm doing, I'm showing you the art of boxing. Damn, brother. Go ahead.
I meant to ask you, how do y'all feel about the Wu-Tang on the Hulu, American Saga?
Yeah.
Like, how do y'all feel about that?
Man, yo.
I love it. Personally, I love it. You know what I mean? Especially season 2 and 3, you know what I mean? Because it's like you start to see the momentum pick up. You know what I mean? I love to see the fact that they resemble where we came from. You know what I mean? Looking at that, it's like, man, I feel like I'm back there in Truman High School again, back in the 90s. You know what I mean? So just the way they dress, the way they talk, and then the slang and all of that. And I'm just like,
man, the 90s was, I'm going to tell you something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know, I'm third generation from Compton. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Growing up out here in LA, it was like a different vibe than growing out on the East Coast. But it's crazy because I'm like a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
I'm like Easy-E because I know all of the gang bang culture.
Right.
But then I'm a 120 master. So it's like, you know, having the knowledge
two
of
wings.
Yeah.
2 wings on the same bird, man. 2 wings on the same bird.
I wasn't in New York, but I was in Norfolk. And I was in Norfolk back in like 96 when niggas was riding around in Mercedes in Norfolk with Wu-Tang license plates on their car.
My favorite rapper.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, it used to be Cannabis. It's Kyle Zodiac.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Zodiac is nice.
Kyle Zodiac. I love you, Reborn. Kyle Zodiac is
likewise, man.
Yeah,
he's a great lyricist. And
I gotta check him out. I definitely gotta check him out.
Oh, you gotta do this to you.
Yeah.
Tom Phoenix, there's no female MC or that if she want to, Tom Phoenix, Kill Rifkin too. What's her name? But Tom Phoenix, I don't think there's no female that's better than her.
Tom Phoenix is dope. Tom Phoenix is dope, yo.
Yeah, she's super dope, man.
She is dope, man.
Tom Phoenix, I love you to death, Queen.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that I think that you not dope as fuck. I know you're dope as super dope.
I like the fact that, you know what I mean, she's definitely down to earth. You know what I'm saying?
If they want it, they can get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't permit it because her levels go up.
Yeah.
You don't want her to do that. And I'm just saying, you don't want her because she can do it. She's capable of doing it.
Last pre-show, I called Priest up in December. December, November. I said, yo, Priest, man, I think the best song you came out with this year is Use Your Mind. No, I'm talking about last year. Last year. He was like, you talking about the joint with Kyle Zodiac? I said, yeah, man, that shit is so inspirational, especially as a creative person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, like I was telling the Queen today, she was like, you know, you always have a good perspective on life. I said, yeah, when you do 11 years in the penitentiary and you sit in there and think about all the shit that you could be doing, but you're not doing, when you actually get out of that prison, you don't hold yourself back no more.
I gotta say
if
this.
you reach that, you know what I'm saying?
Little Da Vinci, he got a case to be made, bro. Little Da Vinci is nest.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yo, he's a little Bruce Lee kid.
Yeah, he's nice.
Those Da Vinci.
Not only do I MC, but I like to produce, compose, and make beats. You know what I mean? I do piano reflector type music with the old background.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, my brother.
Spitting lyrics the way you do.
Yes, sir.
Writing the way you do.
Yes, sir.
In the way you do. You're a real MC, true
Thank you,
lyricist, and it's here.
Thank you, brother.
It's not just here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Salute.
I don't care what nobody's saying.
Yes, sir.
You know why they won't burn you? Because it's here.
That's right. That's right.
You can't burn the motherfucker.
Yeah.
If he's here with it.
Yeah.
He don't gotta know he don't gotta know 5 deadly villains. He knows the book that was the teacher. He's like, no, I don't do the toad. I don't do it. I just know.
He knows self.
Yo, let me tell you, man, we come from a day and age where we study and learn. You know what I'm saying? Like we learn. Hip hop was educating us back in the days, man. You know what I'm saying? It was educating.
Hip hop heritage.
Yeah.
Is he from Jersey, my brother?
The Bronx.
That's where my son from.
Originally from he from Co-op City.
I went to the Bronx. I had the greatest experience of my life.
Yeah.
The Bronx had the greatest experience. I said, because they'd be like, no, the Bronx created hip hop.
They used to come up to the Bronx back in the days, and learn the culture.
I'm going to tell you like this. Yes, they did. The Bronx created hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't give it's a sound. It's a style. And no one ever can do it like the Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. The Boogie Down Bronx.
You say?
Yes.
What do you say?
No one does it like the PX.
Manhattan keeps on making it. The Bronx keeps creating it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Taking it.
Yeah, but the Bronx having an authentic sound. It's like trying to play the jazz. But when you go there, it's Birdland. It's like these niggas is like boom, 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 boom. That shit is
Yo, I'm so old school from the Bronx, man. I remember when the Coquito man used to come out in the summer, yo. And the Piragua. You know what I'm saying?
My son Solomon.
Yeah.
Co-op
City, right?
What's it?
Co-op City, right?
This is real, yeah.
He's from Co-op City, right?
Indeed.
Yo, when he mentioned that, I say, yo, I went to Truman High School in Co-op City back in like 92 to 94.
Lord Finesse, the first Nas.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You don't think Lord Finesse is the first Nas?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Lord Finesse.
Yes, he is. Who else? Showbiz and AG. And Diamond D.
But they give it to Queens because they have so many MCs.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta go back to the essence.
Gotta go to the essence, yeah.
Just to tell you, these niggas, and I'm gonna give you this props. Heritage hip hop, you don't have to deal with that shit because you're not outside of the borough.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have outside of the Superman universe, you got Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So you develop greater skills. Cannabis himself is from Jamaica, which is a supreme lyricist.
That brother, yo.
If Cannabis would go into himself, Razzcats.
Yeah.
It's Creole, which is my family.
Mm-hmm.
Razzcats are the supreme K-Reno.
K-Reno.
I love that dude, bro.
Yeah. My cousin Kamu, he put me on the K-Reno. I was just like, oh my goodness, this dude is
Reno.
Yo, he showed me that joint when he was getting that M. I laughed my head off. I laughed my head off when he was getting that M, yo. I laughed my head off.
Reno was like a cannabis.
Yeah.
I don't say that about a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I just say,
yo, what about them other them dudes from Arizona you was rocking with? Vendetta Kings. Whatever happened with them?
They're nice. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
They move around. They switch flows. They switch identities, and they master each one they get into. Right now, they had that digital Angel album. That joint was crazy. Best MCs are the Geminis.
Tupac. Yeah, Gemini.
Tupac.
Damn.
Man, there's two. Matter of fact, there's 4 MCs that I would have loved to see 2 of them did a collab back then. Tupac and DMX, Big Pun, and Notorious B.I.G.
I think DMX was hard. I love Tupac.
Yeah.
Man, like
But
DMX.
DMX was harder. To me,
Yeah.
DMX was hard.
You listen to that, brother. You ready to get in. You ready to get hyped. You get hyped.
Yeah, more anthems.
Yeah.
It's like Patrick Mahomes can outthrow Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little disappeared, but I'm having fun with my brothers.
It's all good.
Now I was born, Heritage Hip Hop.
Mm-hmm. Yo, that's why I was like, yo, man, I had to do that lyrical posture to represent hip hop. Because I was like, nobody don't do that no more, man. You know what I'm saying? So I said, yo, I had to bring it back, man. And keep it alive. Keep that joint alive, man.
Yo, in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna change music as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. You were there because you represent something that a lot of people don't represent, and that's the heart. Everybody want to be the brain.
Yes.
The heart is good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you do McKepper like that? You know you'll be mad after this.
He mad now. He should be. He should be mad.
Yo, Priest, I gotta send you the album, man. I gotta send you the CD, the physical CD.
Send me whatever you want, bro.
Yeah.
Correct. Do you got to bounce? If you got to bounce, I know you've been holding it down strong. You probably got to. We be here. You know what I'm saying? We be here. So you want to shout out your platform, give a final word to the fan before you dip out?
Who made the heart?
Shout out to everybody who watched. It was a pleasure and an honor to talk with my brothers tonight. All of them.
Okay, brother. I love you, man.
Yeah, same to you, bro. I can't wait to build with you. When we come to North on July 17th, yo, let's build. I will be there. You know what I'm saying? I definitely
Newark, New Jersey.
That's right. Not say it right. North. We on Newark. No. North.
Okay.
North.
That burnt my ears just now. I was like, what?
I hear he said
Yo,
Newark.
you know what's crazy? I used to hang around what's the name of that place? Passaic. Back in the days. Yeah, he's hanging around Passaic back in the days.
Across the waters. That's salute to you, bro. I want to build with you too, Reborn, because at the end of the day, look, everybody, hip hop is a brotherhood. It's not about who does it better or whatever. It's really all about who represents God and the spirit correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I say this all the time.
Right, exactly.
I say this all the time. Hip hop is more than music. Hip hop is God. It's our creation. It's our expression. It's our connection to the Most High. And when people try to tear us down, we use the music to elevate ourselves and show the world that we're God's people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, hip hop survived all of these years, man. It been through wars. It been through a lot, and it's still here.
Hip hop is the only living genre because if you don't sing, you can't be R&B. Jazz was coined jazz for how you move your hips. Rock and roll is how you move. Rhythm and blues is emotion. But you could be hip hop with how you draw, how you dress, how you sing, how you praise, how you live. So we represent that in the essence of God's creation. So if you like hearing me talk tonight, you can follow me at Heritage Hip Hop on all social media. You can go to heritagehiphop.com, the home of Heritage Hip Hop. You can follow the Heritage Hip Hop podcast everywhere you stream. But most importantly, take God with you. I want to give a shout out to my squad, Heritage Hip Hop. You know who you are. The Fleet DJs. I'm a New Jersey Fleet DJ. So I help break records. I help do all that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to The Block. That's my group on Twitter every Saturday, 2 p.m. when we review albums. This week we gonna be doing R&B album or whatever, but we do what we gotta do.
I would love to come out there and chill with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, when the invitation's always open.
I'm up at CT.
Hey, look, I go out there too. And all y'all MCs out there, y'all need beats. Y'all need to come to Jersey. Stop messing with some weird beats y'all got. Come see Stan Ipkiss. come see Stress 973. You know what I'm saying? Come to these beat battles at A Squad Rebel Radio. Come out there and get some beats. You know what I'm saying? And I interview everybody. As long as you make good music, you're able to have a good interview on Heritage Hip Hop. But when you come interview with me, I don't ask you what your favorite color is. I ask you about your understanding of the hip hop culture, your understanding of self, and how you're leaving a legacy behind that made the world better because you did hip hop music or you're a part of this culture. So may the Most High bless you all. Somebody said, whose man is this? I'm God's man. Come see God, you, and I'll be right there. May the Most High bless you all. A knowledge born, it's a pleasure. Reborn, it's a pleasure. Killah Priest.
Yes,
I don't remember his name. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Reborn, man. Reborn came through in the clutch. Now, I want y'all to know that. You understand what I'm saying? Reborn came through in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't rehearsed. You understand what I'm saying? I called him, your fam, come on, you available? It
was a pleasure, man. It's definitely a pleasure being on here.
Yeah, it's love, man. It's love. And these are the aspects that I was talking about that I meant, like the people who have blessed the craft. You see what I'm saying? They deserve a blessing. You see what I'm saying? You see what you got. You know what I mean? Like you've been here, you've been consistent, you've been sharing, you've been supporting, you've been investing in your own, art to get your message out there.
Yes,
and this is the fruits of your labor. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the wind down sessions that I'm looking to produce as I collaborate with Priest. You see what I'm saying? So there's people that I got my eye on. You know what I mean? There's people that I got my eye on to come through and do certain things. So we really want the feedback, because Sunday and Monday, that's a show regimen, and AD's over there and he's doing a phenomenal job with that scaling up process over there. So that's going to be bigger, better, everything that it needs to be. So, his architect mind is, drawing out the blueprints to make that happen. So, here, we're looking to grow and expand, but still keep it light. You see, no matter what it was, we're gonna keep it light, but we're gonna keep it real. You understand what I'm saying? So great opportunity to dialogue. You know what I mean? To dialogue and come through and build in a fashion that the Sunday and Monday opportunities don't afford. We got different people coming in. This Sunday, I need to tune in. Lord Strayhorn will be on this Sunday. You understand? Lord Strayhorn will be on this Sunday. Y'all heard it. My brother Nick Westbrook last week come through, do the numerology. So, if y'all heard of a King Simon, if y'all heard of Nick Westbrook and some of those other numerologists that's out there, that's a guy that, gave them an opportunity to be able to speak to us. So we get a chance to go through his saga, on Sunday, and we're going to keep on rolling. But, Wednesday, the wind down, we want to, have an opportunity to hear from our people. Look at what DJ from Guam, man. Come on, man. Stop playing, yo. Hit this link, man. Hit this link, man. DJ from Guam. I'm about to send you the link right now. Take us to the ocean real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come take us to the ocean. Come take us to the ocean, DJ from Guam. You understand what I'm saying? So the beautiful opportunity, Aurora, you owe me. You understand? I'm at you, Aurora. We need you up here, fam. Okay, Jody, everybody. All of the supporters that makes this move and makes people want to elevate. People want to celebrate, and show that love. It's a real love space. You see what I'm saying? So I want to deal with some of the artists, some of the producers. Y'all hate everybody that's been out here like with their foot to the pavement. You see what I'm saying? If somebody see Mosquito, tell them I said hello, Mosquito. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so we really, the chances for collaboration is great, and this is only as great as we put these things forth. So. Let's continue to build. You know what I mean? Like, yes, yeah. So,
sir.
I want to be able to link with everybody, meet with everybody, and do whatever we can to, make sure that voice is heard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I seen DJ Blazer earlier. He coming back. You understand what I'm saying? He coming back. So I really want to have a kind of a regiment so there's some predictability about the people that'll be coming through. So y'all have advance notice. So just working on that from a organizational show perspective and a program perspective. So we definitely doing some amazing things. You know what I mean? Y'all make me proud. I told y'all I'm addicted over here. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm hooked. So I'm like, yo, I gotta come through the Podcraft and see what's going on. And shout out to my brother Karev of Heritage Hip Hop, man. If y'all go subscribe and check him out, man. He's a real good dude, real solid brother. You know what I mean? So let's support the real. Let's support the real.
Yes, sir.
Reborn, man. Tell people where to find your music, man. Where to find you. You doing collabs? You doing features? You know what I'm saying? You producing? What you doing?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing all of that, collabing with brothers and sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? I make tracks, beats, and all of that. I produce my whole album. I got my own website. You know what I'm saying? Reborn to Rebizzle. You know what I'm saying? Which is www.reborntorebizzle.com. You know what I mean? You can find me on all social media platforms with the same name, Reborn to Rebizzle. And I also do house music and DJ under the name DJ Rebizzle as well.
Speaking of DJ, this is our favorite DJ, the one who uses his alchemical talents and skills and gifts to spread love. Okay, so he loved us enough to come on here for a few minutes and take us to the ocean. Like I just needed him. I needed it. You understand? Like we got into some other stuff tonight. You understand what I'm saying? But this is always love. This is built from a foundation of love. You know what I mean? So let's welcome the one, the only, our brother in love over here, the DJ from Guam. Okay.
Yeah. Keep loving, keep shining, family. Knowledge, born wisdom, Allah. The brother is that's on the Podcraft with the Killah Priest Podcraft. I'm an advocate for Killah Priest music. I'm an advocate for the Woo. And we worked on about 16 tracks, I counted, with the remixes and everything with Killah Priest. Nice. DJ Guam and Killah Priest on YouTube, Instagram, and now today's show. Yeah. What's my brother's name? What's my brother's name?
Guam the salute. You know how you do, Guam.
I just released a track, Knowledge, Born Wisdom, Allah.
Yeah.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. I learned that from Killah Priest and Knowledge, Born Wisdom, Allah. So it's peace to the gods right at the top.
Faith.
And we're taking to everyone, take the problems to the ocean.
Yes.
And my body is an ocean. So take your problems to me. Like my family members took the problems to the ocean. And she didn't have the ocean, so she just had Guam to share the problems. And I vacuumed it up, the anxiety. I put it in the music, and I trapped it in there. So now she don't have no problem. She's giggling and laughing now. So anyone has and I got a new saying, Knowledge Born Allah.
What's that?
Your problem is my solution. I salute to your problems because that's giving me energy. Your tiredness gives me energy. If you came off from work, how you doing? I'm tired. Well, that just gave me energy. Thank you. Yeah. If you knocked on my door, I opened the door, you had bedhead. You didn't know what to do with yourself. It gave me energy. You gonna stay home, Guam? No, I'm gonna go into the radio show. After seeing you, I'm gonna go to the radio show. and I could easily feel lazy like that, but I choose not to. When I see the tiredness, for some reason, just going to give your your problem is my solution. Yeah, because if you have problems, then meet 500 people a year, every year. You might hear their voices and get ideas. You might talk to someone and just opens up your world. And 500 new people is 500 resources. So we can't be talking every year, year after year. We got a problem. And you're saying that you need to. That's your problem is my solution. And I need to share with you. If you want to stop having problems, meet 500 people a year. And then, maybe the ones that you need to meet, be a people person. And have those revenues, have those revenues. Knowledge born Allah, honored Guam on the show. That's a solution. Another voice to the 500 voices.
Right.
I never heard that before. We just released a song called Family Member of Buddha. I'm a family member of Buddha. Buddha was more known than Gandhi. Buddha gave it all away. Like Bob Marley gave it all away. So I'm just a family member of Buddha. And let's see if it sticks. Give it all away instead of holding on to it all. Take him to the ocean. Yeah. And if I can't help you, I might have to say, take him to the ocean. Guam. This guy's calling me Guam. Tell him to go to the ocean. I told him to go to the ocean. Take your problems to the ocean, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only DJ in Guam. So this is my favorite part of the show. We're about to close out. And I'm about to take us to the Killah Priest Ocean real quick. I'm about to take us to the Pleroma for a little bit. Not for a long time, because we already been there. Look, this normally beat me with the music taking this long. But, we'll be here a little bit. Give a little late night, early morning serenade. So y'all have an amazing day. Amazing day. Final thoughts, Reborn and Revisit.
I'd definitely like to close everybody out with a word of prayer, if that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Heavenly Father, we come before you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, giving you glory, honor, and thanks, oh Father God. Thank you for this time of fellowship, oh Lord God. We thank you for words of wisdom, Lord God. We thank you for this conversation, oh Father God. We just ask that you will be glorified in all that we do and all that we say, oh Lord God. We ask that everyone will have a blessed day and a blessed evening, Lord God. That you will bless their going and bless their coming back in, oh Lord God. Until we meet, you know what I'm saying? Just keep us close in your wings, oh Lord God, in your hands. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Keep you coming through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love and appreciation to all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me on.
Word.
Peace.
Peace.